You're listening to M.T.V.B. Podcast. Movies, TV, video and board games. This show may contain swearing.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the M.T.V.B. podcast. It's the podcast that talks about movies, TV shows, video games and board games. I'm your host Anthony, as well as most people know me as the Ant-Man. And welcome. This week's episode is continuing our Spooktacular series in October. Every episode in this month, M.T.V. podcast will be talking about a famous horror movie series. And today we will be talking about the Halloween Michael Myers movies. And I'm joined once again by the guys that love to talk about horror films, Tim and Steve. How are you guys?
Hey, I'm good.
Hello.
How are you?
Welcome back. Welcome back. Thank you for coming back again for part 2.
Yeah.
So obviously we've got a lot to get through. So shall we just get through to it now and start with the Halloween films? When did you ever start getting into them or start watching them? And was the first one you ever saw?
Oh, not. Yeah, I think it was the first one. John Carpenter original.
Mine was too. First one.
Although
Same as.
I heard of H2O first, because when I was at school, that's what everyone was talking about. Was that 98, I think? Or,
yes, it was, yeah. 20-year anniversary, wasn't it?
Yeah, so I heard about that, and then I saw the first one. I just loved it. So well shot.
You was like 5 at the time, though, weren't you? Oh, wait, joking. No, H2O is a cracking one. That was the first one I saw in the cinema, actually.
Oh, bloody hell.
Yeah, so... One of those sneaking, slick your hair back, get into the cinema sort of thing.
Oh man, I hate to tell you what the first one I was.
Go on, what was it?
Resurrection.
Was it really?
Not the first one I saw. The first one
in the cinema or
right? Yeah. That's same for me. Yeah, I was too young for H2O.
Yeah, the first one I saw was the first one. It was I taped it on BBC One late night. Probably when I was about 13 years old. Must have been that sort of age.
I was about to mention that BBC Two every Halloween used to play Halloween, the first one.
That's right, yeah. So, yeah, that's how I watched the first one. And then the sequels came in much later. I think I actually ended up buying the VHSs for him. But
yeah, so first time I saw it was obviously the first one. But I bought mine from Virgin Megastore. Do you remember one that used to be in Crawley?
Yeah.
So I went to get that one there. And it was 1 and 2 on one VHS because they were only like an hour and 20 minutes each or something. It weren't very long movie, so you could get it onto a 3-hour tape, couldn't you? Yeah. But the quality on the first Halloween was fucking dire. It was literally like a pirate copy, if that. It was so bad. I remember when the DVD came out, I was blown away how good this movie looks.
That the one with the reflective cover? I think
the original, the DVD one, yeah.
That was really good. Yeah. The second one, I remember when I watched that, I had a DVD copy. It was so grainy. It looked, like you said, it looked like a pirate copy.
It wasn't until I saw the Blu-ray was when I realised the graininess of it. Like they did a good job with the Blu-ray version of it because I think Tim, you come around and watched it, and we checked out the Blu-ray version and did some A-bids out of it as well. But yeah, definitely, first one was mine. First, again, going back to what Tim was saying, it used to be on BBC Two every Halloween, and I caught my parents watching it once, but never really knew of it. I knew it was called Halloween. I knew it was like a horror film, but never really knew of it until I snagged a copy of it from H&B Megastore for a $5, and it was just really, really bad quality. And then when number 2 came on, it was just like, holy crap, it's an upgrade. It's not bad for VHS. We'll go into that later anyway.
First one.
Yeah. The first one. Let's start with the first one. The classic John Carpenter one, as always.
Well, obviously, another very low-budget horror film, but so well shot. I think John Carpenter just nailed a slasher movie. The way he shot it was just incredible, considering the budget.
Yeah, that was it. And it was, I think it was the first of its kind, wasn't it? Like the first ever slasher.
I think it started, that kind of.
It started. I think there was one before it, but it was the one that kicked off the slasher genre.
Yeah.
The other ones
first
before
mainstream.
It. That's right, yeah.
They hit the mainstream box office and do well. But yeah.
Obviously, just from the start, that haunting, simple music Just gets
The
you,
simple
doesn't
sort
it?
of
With the little pumpkin and the candle.
which he did, right? John Carpenter.
He did the music, yeah. I seem to remember hearing he recorded most of the music in a few days.
Yeah.
Because so you got to remember, they hardly had any money. It was obviously set at Halloween, so there shouldn't be any leaves on the trees. So what they had to do is, because they shot it in summer, they had to get loads of pieces of paper, tear them up, colour them brown and orange.
Seriously? I never knew that.
And throw them all over the set piece, even though the trees are all green.
Wow.
It's just what
I never really noticed that.
It's just what they had to do, because they just could not shoot the movie. They didn't. I don't think they had the license, or I think you have to get some sort of license to shoot a movie at a location. They couldn't get it for the time of year they wanted, so they had to shoot it before Halloween. So
Wow.
So I'd hate to be the guy cutting up paper and colouring it in.
Jesus, can you imagine that in your job description? I colour in paper to make it look like leaves.
The most tedious job ever.
Yeah.
Like $5 an hour.
I think it's probably one of the first films I saw that introduced you to that POV shot right from the very start.
The opening, yes. I was about to go into that. Yeah,
I thought when I watched it, it was all one take. Obviously,
but you can tell now it's clearly not.
But obviously, when I was younger, I mean, it still looks good for I think it's 3 or 4 cuts in there.
Yes,
But it does look like one continuous shot. It's very well done for the time.
But totally, yeah. I think still some shots in that movie still hold up to this day.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Considering it's 42 years old now.
Yeah,
wow.
Bloody Nora.
Crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, yeah, you sort of don't know right at the start who you are, what eyes you're looking through here. Obviously, you see the hand. But again, that was, I think, the producer's hand, wasn't it? Deborah Hill?
What, as the
hand, yeah. They didn't use the kid's actual hand for that.
That's an adult hand?
Yeah, it's an adult hand, yeah.
On the POV shot you're talking about?
Yeah.
Oh, right,
when the hand reaches into the cutlery drawer and everything, grabs the knife out and what have you, that's...
I never get that part. Why would you look up at your hand stabbing? Doesn't make any sense.
This is what you do.
Oh, that's what you do. Oh, I get it. Yeah. But yeah, I remember watching that scene for the first time because it's his sister he stabs, isn't it?
Yeah.
Michael! And then Beast just comes in. But I love how it goes from like and then when he escapes and runs down the stairs, it's very boom, 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 very and then
Michael,
and then they just pan out. It's such a good shot.
Yeah.
But I love how the parents are just looking at him as to go, "You're right. You
the hell have you just done?"
Yeah, exactly.
And then, so after that, he's obviously killed his sister, and then we skip forward. I don't know how many
15 years, I think it is. Yeah, something like that, isn't
Michael's been in an institute. There was a TV cut, isn't there, where you see Michael in the institute as a boy.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Yeah, as a TV cut. That. Actually, that DVD mentioned with the shiny, that was a double layer DVD. If you flipped it over, it had the TV cut on the other side.
Oh, fucking hell, I never knew that. Wow.
Yeah, I
might have to go back and get that.
It's shot in full frame.
Yeah.
It was just for TV only. And I think they made that just before Halloween 2 came out, I think. Or maybe after, I can't remember. Just to sort of fill the gap, as it was. But yeah, so we then cut a bit later on, and we're introduced to Dr. Loomis.
One of the best characters in this film ever. Yeah. Some of the dialogue Donald he has is absolutely brilliant. How he personifies Michael as, the boogeyman. Like he's got these dull eyes, he's got these black eyes, the devil's eyes and whatnot.
Just evil incarnate.
Yeah.
You believe it as well when he says it, because he delivers it well. It's Donald Pleasance's performance is spot on.
Absolutely.
But obviously he's a really highly regarded actor.
Yeah.
And you think for a low budget film, it's quite surprising that they got him on board. But
just simple things like when they find the dead dog and he's like, oh, he got hungry.
I forgot about that line.
But then he's like, oh, it could have been, he's just an ordinary guy, right? This is no ordinary man.
He's gone. The evil is gone from here. The evil is gone.
He's halfway across. He can't even drive, for Christ's sake. Maybe someone around here gave him lessons, and he's like, he's funny.
Yeah, he's got some good quotes. Every line he delivers, you just believe it almost. So,
Michael escapes. And then the film starts that kind of stalking boogeyman style.
It's very, very slow paced.
Yeah.
It gets you into the babysitter characters.
Works,
You're introduced to Laurie Strode and whatnot, and it even though it's slow, it works well. Like Tim just said, it works so well. I mean, you're constantly looking in the background to see if Michael's there. And
It's like head goes around the hedge.
And I never noticed. There's a couple of scenes where he literally drives past Laurie.
Yeah.
And I just never even noticed. I never know why, but I just like, shit, there's Michael there.
Yeah, so like he breaks into the hardware store to steal, I think, like ropes, a mask, various other things to
And a couple of knives.
Yeah, and he's actually in the background. Donald Pleasant and that, they totally miss him. He's in his car, and then he drives past, and he even looks at them.
Yeah.
And they just don't notice. So he's very clever, very tactical in the way he sort of like stalks everyone and is looking around.
Hey, jerk, speed kills.
So the mind games.
Yeah.
And then obviously the non-reveal of his face.
Yes.
Not knowing, you're just being told as a man of, well, it's not even a man, it's just evil, it's pure evil. And then by not showing his face, that's all you're thinking, like this is just an essence of what an evil is in a human persona. But then obviously towards the end.
Yeah, and obviously there's the part where, what's his name? Tommy is like the kid that lives across the road from Laurie or something, but he sees Michael during the film, doesn't he? But he's very into like, oh, I believe the boogeyman exists.
Yeah.
And there's some parts in that film where Laurie's like, I got rid of him, don't worry. But then even Tommy's like, you can't kill the boogeyman. And this is where Tim was saying about how, because we don't see him, we don't, he could very well be the boogeyman,
Well, he's got that mask just looks lifeless, doesn't it? It looks like.
And do you know what the mask was?
Yeah.
Go on, what is it?
William Shatner.
Yeah.
Painted turned
white.
around, isn't it?
Yeah.
Painted white? Does it still have the hair
it's
as well?
the inside of the mask.
Oh, is it?
So it's like flipped inside out.
Is it really? I thought they painted
I thought they painted white and then just cut the eyelids.
Oh, I'm not
point.
sure. I thought
I
they
always
flipped
thought
it
they painted
inside out.
it.
Yeah.
Could very well be.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's quite lethal in his kills, and I mean that one where he stabs the guy up against the kitchen side.
I was literally about to say this. So for a movie that's been rated 18 for years, and I think it still is to this day,
There's not much gore.
no gore whatsoever. No, I think there's maybe a couple bits where he cuts her arm at the end, maybe.
Oh, it's minuscule compared to...
if that.
Yeah.
It's crazy how I just thought, why is it rated so highly? 15 at least, maybe, but...
Yeah.
It's like that's like Scarface, when the guy gets chainsawed, you don't see him actually get chainsawed, you just see blood at his face, but then you're just imagining. It's your imagination that takes toll and not what you see on screen. I think back then the BBFC ratings were a lot different. Yeah. Now we're more lenient because everything's done to death. But back then that was new, fresh kind of thing. So yeah, I can see why I was an 18 and why I was rated R.
Rated R.
Yeah.
But I remember, I always remember the heavy breathing Michael always used to do. Like, there's a scene where I was like, I thought it was me for a second then. Where Laurie's trying to hide from him, but you can hear Michael in the background.
Yeah,
because you see just a shot of an open window. You don't actually know he's in the house, do you?
And then he literally is shoulder and side of his head come into frame.
Absolutely.
And then as they walk away from the house, he then goes into the next shot just aside.
Yeah.
There's a lot of that. So the bit where he's in the car, John Carpenter's in the back with the camera.
Yes, okay.
And I think it's Tommy, isn't it? The boy. He's just been pushed over at school.
Yes, that's right.
And as he's sort of walking off, Michael Myers
he bumps into him, doesn't he?
That's it. Yeah,
and he looks up at Michael, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's not Tommy. It's the guy that bully Tommy, isn't it?
Oh, yeah,
is
you're
that
right.
the one you're talking about?
Yeah, you're right.
Because they trip Tommy over, don't they? And then the bullies run into Michael and Michael stops them.
That's it.
But then Michael keeps his eye on Tommy, doesn't he, as he walks away. Is that the one you're on about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think because Laurie Strode, played by Jamie Lee Curtis, because she goes to the house where Michael's there, they're the first two that Michael sees. So I think that's why he picks on those two as the ones he wants to go after.
Yeah.
But yeah, the shots like that and the music, it just carries it so well. But yeah, like you say, there's actually not a lot of violence in it.
There isn't at all.
There's some good deaths in it.
Absolutely.
But again, they're kind of in the dark, aren't they? They're not...
Because the daughter gets stabbed at the beginning, doesn't she? But you see her, you kind of see a bloody body for a split second, if that. Yeah. But then after that, there isn't really... nothing really to
write home about.
Yeah.
Like you say, compared to modern horror film.
I mean, it's very good. Like I said, the guy got stabbed up, so you get, against the wall. You get the idea.
I just love that bit where he turns his head from left to right.
Yeah,
looks
at him, doesn't he?
Yeah, and it's like, is it admiring his kill? What is it? You just and I think that's the great thing with Michael Myers. You never actually know what his motivation is.
Yeah.
It's just cold heart.
Especially in this one, because I don't think there's a storyline that gets revealed, but I don't think it's till number 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it in a second. Obviously, we'll talk about number 2. But but like you said, he is literally in this just the boogeyman. He's the guy that comes around and stalks babysitters and whatnot. And
yeah. And we love the bit where he's chasing Laurie Strode, and as she runs to the house, Tommy and that they've gone to sleep. It's like, Tommy, open the door, it's me.
All the keys. Tommy, open up, it's me.
I suppose she was one of the first Scream queens, would you say?
Yes, totally. Jamie Lee Curtis was definitely, I think she's the woman that defined Scream Queen.
Yeah.
But I loved how weird was it where there's a scene where obviously Jamie Lee Curtis is she's babysitting with Tommy and they're watching a movie and it turns out to be The Thing.
Oh yeah.
Or The Thing from
the
another
original.
world. But the original. And who would have thought 4 years from there John Carpenter would have released that exact movie? I mean, did he know that he was going to make it at the time? Or what a weird coincidence that is.
Obviously, I don't want to go off subject, but The Thing was Universal and that's like a big company. John Carpenter wasn't really renowned at that point, was he?
You reckon someone at Universal was like, oh...
yeah, we want him.
Yeah, we'll hire him.
But, yeah, it's funny how the film kind of, like you say, very slow pace, builds up. The kills at this, as he starts killing the babysitters and the babysitters' boyfriends, they're quite slow pace. But as then he goes after Laurie, that's the bit when then starts speeding up the attacks.
Yeah.
He's literally after her non-stop.
Yeah.
He gets... And one thing I actually like about this as a horror movie is that he gets hurt in it.
Yes,
when he
absolutely.
gets hurt, he goes down. He's not like just walking through absolutely... Yeah, he gets up, but...
Do you remember that's such a good shot, though?
Yeah.
The first time he actually got up like a dead man and then turns to look at, at Jamie Lee Curtis. I remember the first time seeing that, I shat myself.
Yeah.
Because no one... I mean, I know I hadn't seen anything like it since.
Because it's kind of like blurred in the background, isn't
Yes.
it? As he's outside the wardrobe, is it?
That's
or the
right.
shutters. And then he just like sits up and that music kicks in.
And there was something I not really like... I didn't... Again, because I had really shitty copies back in the day of this movie. But the part where... Before she gets stabbed in the arm and falls down the stairs.
Yeah.
So... You could hear him breathing, but I never noticed that you could see his mask in the dark doorway bit. It slowly comes to camera, and you can see his mask in the background.
Yeah.
But because, I probably didn't realise it until it was on the Blu-ray. It just, I love how I can go back and watch this and be like, oh shit, that was there. This was here.
Yeah.
It did have that there.
But there's something... I always found something amazing about his presence on screen. The guy that played him...
Yeah.
I forget his name now. Is it Nick Castle?
Yes, it was Nick Castle, yes. He did it the first time, yeah.
Yeah. He kind of has like a really menacing posture, but at the same time, it's kind of like a lifeless, I'm just going to come after you and kill, nothing will stop me at the same time.
Yeah, because she stabs him like in the throat, in the eye and whatnot. I think she actually... Doesn't he drop his knife and she stabs him?
That's it, yeah.
And he still gets up, and it's like... And that's where I was saying about where Tommy refers to it. You can't kill the boogeyman. It was like,
and
you clearly can't.
Obviously, Donald Pleasant is hunting him through this whole movie, going through, is it Haddonfield, the town?
Yeah, Haddonfield, yeah.
And as the kids run out towards the end of the film, obviously he hears the screams, goes up there, and I think Michael's on pretty much his last legs from being attacked by
a girl.
Yeah, a girl.
Fucking wimp.
And then he gets blasted.
He shot like 6 times, didn't he?
Yeah.
It's pretty much like the whole gun gets unloaded.
Whole
into
cylinder
him.
unloaded.
I shot him 6 times. yeah, which he says in number 2. I shot him 6 times. But interesting fact, I don't know if you ever knew this, but the street where they filmed the Haddonfield, that scene in the night time, was the exact same road that they shot Back to the Future and E.T.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Because me and my wife went to LA in 2007.
Yeah.
We'd done a film tour, obviously, film bus tour, whatnot. And we actually drove on that street. I have a picture of me from the top, literally shooting straight down that road. And it was the exact same road they used for both E.T., Back to the Future, and Halloween. All on that one road.
I did not know that.
I never knew that until then. But yeah, it was one of my favourite times going there. I was like, holy crap. But do you think number one holds up still to this day?
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, some of the acting is a little wooden in it. Obviously, given the budget and the production, it's not like John Carpenter could like go through all the actors that possibly out there to
With
play
what
the part.
they had,
He
they
had
did a
a very
cracking job.
limited probably range of actors he could have
It's
used.
how all the classics are done. They're always done with limits, aren't they?
Yeah. But for what they had, they did a cracking job. I think it's a great slasher. I believe it did start that whole kind of boogeyman thing.
Yeah, I mean, less is more. It's almost like the Alfred Hitchcock ways,
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. So, yeah, I just think it holds up still. There's no way.
Yeah, I mean, when the reboot came out in 2018, the cinema we had here, the week before Halloween 2018 came out, they played the original. And obviously they have a little John Carpenter intro beforehand talking about the new film that's coming out. But I took my wife to see it, and because she hadn't seen it in a long time, not only did she jump out of her seat in a couple of bits, it's one of those films where if you forget you watched it a while, it's holy shit, it still does, like you said, like Tim said, like you said, it still holds up to this day. It was still entertaining. People were walking out really saying, really still enjoyed that film.
I mean, I think if you've watched... So let's say you've never seen Halloween. You've watched a lot of modern horrors. I don't think you'd be scared by it if you then went back and watched it, because a lot of the scares in it, like the bit where he's in the back of the car and the woman doesn't know it, they've been done now, but Halloween was the first it started all them sort of kills, didn't it?
They're not exact jump scares, but there's a couple of parts. I think there's a couple of parts where a copper just jumps up on Laurie. And it's very, like, you don't see it coming.
Yeah.
And that's what I like about the John Carpenter shot of this. It's a typical jump scare, but it's not a typical jump scare, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
I'd say a very well made, low budget film.
Yeah.
Does hold up today still. And I think you have to watch it and be respectful of what they had available to them at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I love it.
Yeah, it's when people say, the old ones are shit, they don't, stand the test of time. It's like, well, again, didn't live through it. You don't know the consequences, the budgets, and the limits they had. Like you said, less is more at the end of the day.
Yeah, less is more. Yes, you could have had the kills in it could have been way more violent. He could have. We all know, having seen the sequels, Michael Myers is more than strong enough to just rip the head off of probably some of them.
But that's where the sequels died down, because you saw more of Michael. Yeah. Whereas in this one, you don't really see him as much. It's like a Pinhead situation. Pinhead's in Hellraiser for 9 minutes, but everyone remembers Pinhead. Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it?
You do see a shot, don't you, of Michael's actual face when Laurie lifts the mask up.
Yeah, Tim mentioned it earlier.
Yeah.
If we get to see him once, don't we?
Yeah.
But it isn't actually Nick Castle, is it? It's a totally different actor or something.
Who was the actor?
I don't know who the actor was, but it wasn't actually Nick. They replaced it with someone else, wasn't it?
I seem to remember John Carpenter saying that. I think it was on an audio commentary or something, that he cannot remember who that. It was literally someone they got in just for that shot.
But that's what I'm saying. Why, you had a guy playing him. Why not just use him? It just doesn't make sense. But again, it probably didn't look like what they needed in today.
Yeah, they used Nick Castle obviously for the 2018.
Yes,
and you do see a bit, and it is actually Nick Castle's. Yeah. I'm
glad they stuck with that. Yeah. But he's got like some sort of deformity on him as well. One of his eyes is like...
Oh, that's because he got stabbed.
Oh, that's because he got stabbed, yes. So, beg pardon, yes, sorry, yeah.
Yes. So, he gets shot 6 times, falls over the balcony.
And then Donald Pleasance goes to see him. Donald Pleasance goes to see the dead body, and what happens?
We've got to leave it open for a sequel.
It was never intended, though, was it?
No.
Never intended to.
I think the idea was the boogeyman can never die.
Yes. Yeah. Like Tommy says, it's you can't kill him. Yeah. So, and I love that, because... the last shots to that film is literally you can just hear him breathing in the background, but the landmark shots go back to his house, so you can only think that he retreated back home, and like I'm the boogeyman. This is my house. This is my lair. Sort of thing.
I love how you get the shots of like all the places he killed people.
Yes, that's it. Yeah.
Whilst the music's playing, you're hearing his breathing as well. Still going.
Yeah, that's it. Literally hear that in the background
So
till the credits roll.
Yeah, it's great. It's not like you need that shot of him running off like behind the trees or something.
No, because then
just got that breathing.
No, because then that gets away the scare factor of him being the boogeyman.
Yeah,
doesn't
the breathing works really well.
Works so well.
So yeah, I think then John Carpenter was approached to do a sequel because, I mean, I'm probably wrong here, but I've got a feeling Halloween was made on something like $50,000 or something ridiculously cheap, and then it ended up making, I think at the time, before like Paranormal Activity and stuff like that was so low budget, it had made the most money compared to what it cost to make than any other film for years and years and years. Because it made something like, let's say 50, 70 million, but compared to what it cost to make, it was just a huge profit. So naturally, when they did that ending, they wanted a sequel. The studios wanted a sequel.
But unlike all the other ones, like the Fridays and the Freddies, this one actually had a 3-year gap between the two.
Yeah.
We didn't get Halloween 2 till 3 years later, which was 81. And
is it because John Carpenter was doing the Fog?
He'd done the Fog, he'd done Escape, and he was doing the Thing at the time of release of this film.
So he said he would direct it, didn't he?
No, he produced and wrote some of it, or did the story. I don't think he wrote it. I think he wrote the story. I think Deborah Hill wrote it, which was his wife at the time or something. But Jamie Lee Curtis obviously had skyrocketed her fame because of Halloween. And I remember when they shot 2, she had really short hair.
Yes.
But because this is literally number 2 continues from...
Literally.
Straight after 1, like after we shot
Donald
Michael.
Pleasant's walking out the house.
I shot him 6 times. The evil is gone. He's gone from here. The evil is gone. So yeah, it's literally, the whole story is about Laurie going to hospital and whatnot, but obviously Michael wasn't finished because you find out that Laurie ends up being Michael's sister, something like that. Yeah,
is it a stepsister or just, I don't know, I can't remember now.
I
think, wasn't she adopted or something? I can't remember.
No,
Maybe I'm wrong.
I think this was the child they had whilst he was away.
Right.
Or something like, I can't remember. But,
it's been a while since I've seen the second one.
Again, you get those...
so going back to Jamie Lee, she had short hair. So the whole movie...
It's got a wig on.
You could tell it was a wig. It's like one of the worst wigs I've ever seen in a movie. It's unreal. But I don't think number 2 is as bad as people make out to be. I love how it just... It continues straight from number 1. And that's what I love about 2. It's like, it's not taking a break. It's still the same Halloween night that we've seen recently from the first one, wasn't it? So
yeah, he kind of... it does follow on. So you get a lot of POV shots where he's going into a house, just random house, grab another knife, kill another person, what have you. I think one of the biggest problems with it is he just looks like a totally different Michael Myers all of a sudden.
Taller, skinnier.
Yeah, he's not got that kind of like menacing presence.
Yeah,
that,
you can tell they didn't bring Nick Castle back.
I did read something, I might be totally wrong, but I'm sure in one of the films, it could have been number 2, that the original mask was either lost or damaged, so that's why they had to make another one.
Yes, that's right, yeah. You're right, it is that one.
So it does look a little bit gimmicky compared to the original mask.
Plus, there are scenes when you see his eyes with the mask, because obviously in the first one, it's just black eye.
You never see it, do you? Yeah.
There's a lot of death scenes where it has close up his face and you see his eyes.
That's right, yes, I remember that. I remember seeing it for the first time, and it's like when he kills one of the nurses in the hospital, he goes, I think he stabs her throat and it splatters. But it splatters on his mask, but you can, like Tim says, you can see his eyes clear as day, and I was like...
I don't know if that works, because it kind of gives life to the character, which you don't want to see, do you? You want to see, like Donald Pleasant said, like dark, lifeless, eyes.
Black eyes.
Black eyes. Makes them too human.
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
She's in... So Laurie Strode gets taken to hospital, and Michael Myers, can't remember how he gets there. Oh, no, that's it. Isn't there a lad dressed up similar to him that gets run over by a police. Yeah,
it's just so stupid. It's like Michael Myers isn't even like a thing. This is the same night he's gone around killing babysitters, but somehow a trick or treater is exactly dressed just like Michael,
with blonde hair or something.
Yeah, and then he gets run over.
Oh mate,
like badly.
He gets run over, blown up, and then as soon as the cop gets out of the car, he's like, I couldn't see him. I didn't see him.
The fuck did you not see that?
It's like, well, not being funny. If you didn't see him, you still would have crashed in that bus that blew him up as well.
Yeah.
So,
as far as innocent people die in this film, that's probably the most devastating.
yes. It's
And it turns out to be Laurie's boyfriend, doesn't it?
Was it?
No.
Yeah, it is.
Is it?
No. Honestly.
Yes, because she was meant to go out with someone.
Yeah.
And, yes, you're right. Yes, you are. Yes.
What's his name? I forget now.
What's the chances of him wearing Michael Myers outfit? The same as her brother. Come on now. This is.
Yeah, so
We just said number 2 isn't as bad, and like we're ripping it off now.
yeah, so like obviously
that's the only
Donald Pleasant saying that he's
there
not
are death
dead.
scenes, yeah.
He's saying that he's not dead, and obviously all the cops are saying, "Look, we just seen him get hit by a police car, killed. He's dead, totally." But yeah, Michael Myers makes his way to the hospital, and they almost like get locked into this hospital, and it just becomes the film, the hospital.
Yeah,
That's
it's like trying to escape the hospital now, isn't it?
Yeah.
And she has this sort of feeling, doesn't she, that something's wrong.
Yeah.
She doesn't really actually know that Michael's there. She just starts getting up and trying to escape, really, doesn't she? Laurie, sorry.
Yeah.
But I remember, isn't there like a death scene with a sauna or something? Or
it's like a hot bath or something?
Bath, yeah.
And he like literally puts a woman in there and like burns the shit out of her.
Like her skin's hanging off her face.
Oh, mate.
So it got quite graphic, didn't it, this one?
Yeah, it's
compared
like
to the first.
one didn't have blood, but this one's got shitloads in it.
It's like we can't get away with like the cool shots that John Carpenter did and the scare factor in that way. Let's just put a load of
straight off
in
independent in the way to like an actual Hollywood's horror film.
Yeah,
I think it's because the first one did that thing where it was almost like a stepping stone for like films can be made cheap and still make bank.
Yes.
So with this one, obviously, was it 3 years now since the second one?
Yeah, exactly.
So within that time, we've had a lot of films come out because of Halloween.
Yep.
Gave a lot of inspiration.
cashing in.
Yeah, so a lot of it was at Texas Chainsaw and stuff like that. They started coming out, and then obviously this one having more budget, they decided to cash in on what all the other films have been doing since.
Yeah.
So
It still feels low budget, but obviously there was more spent on it. And it's obviously the practical effects of all like the cuts, the death scenes.
Isn't there like a scene where a guy gets a hammer in the head, but it's like the other end? Oh. It's like hook end or something.
I can't remember.
And when it goes in, he goes boom, boom. It's like fucking hell.
And there's one death scene that isn't even killed by Michael. It's his own fault. Doesn't he like slip on blood and crack his head or something?
Yes, he tries to escape or something.
Passes out in the car.
He's still alive, but he's like proper brain dead. He's almost brain damaged. He's like telling Lloyd to drive. Like,
yes, I know.
Drive. He was like, and then just passes out and then.
That's right. Yeah.
But I think like at one point,
because he actually gets out of the hospital, doesn't he?
Yeah, they escape
right,
Michael. Yes. Michael doesn't know where the hell they are. They get in this car. Laurie's with this guy, and the one thing he's got to do is drive away. But I think he slips on his own blood or something. And then
another dead body's blood, isn't it?
And then literally like just headbutts the horn and sits there. And then obviously Michael knows.
Obviously bleeds to death or something, or concussed or whatever.
Yeah. And obviously Donald Pleasant comes along.
How does he find out? Oh, he already knew, didn't he? He already knew that Laurie was.
Did he?
Well,
I swear he knows.
No, I think what happens is he finds out. I can't remember how now. He finds out that Laurie Strode is the sister to Michael Myers. So he knows, well, the only place Michael is going to go is the hospital because that's who he's after. That's his incentive.
Yeah.
So he goes like after Laurie Strode. And I think I'm trying to think what happens now.
He doesn't tell it though, does he? I mean,
no,
he literally just goes there to protect her.
Yeah,
he knows Laurie's there, and so he knows that Michael's going to try and show up at some point. Especially if he's aware that if Michael's aware that she's his sister.
Yeah, I can't remember if Donald Pleasant like goes there and does other stuff, or if he's literally just there for the end bit when he tries to kill Michael. I can't think now.
I can remember the ending very well, how Michael dies. Yes, it's actually quite a cool death scene for Michael.
I know. I know a bit where a cop shoots Michael, or it might have been Donald Pleasant, I can't remember now. He's laying on the floor and the cop goes to check on him, but obviously Michael's still alive. Literally grabs him, just puts a knife straight round his throat.
I remember, isn't there a part where Michael literally has this tiniest scalpel ever, stabs a nurse? Yes, he stabs the nurse in the back and still manages to lift her up with this tiny fucking scalpel.
Must be his, like, hand inside her or something. I don't know.
But it's a good shot because obviously the music stops.
Yes,
it's like that. It's like an echo, like a.
That's it. How's it going? So yeah, and then obviously, Dr. Loomis finds Laurie, protects her, whatnot, and Michael's there. Doesn't she shoot him in the eye or eyes?
Yeah, so Donald is in the room. Michael goes for him, somehow disarms him, incapacitates him temporarily. Then he turns his attention to Laurie, but Laurie's picked up the handgun that he's dropped. Or he might have given it to her, I can't remember.
Yeah,
now.
I can't remember.
And then she literally blasts him in the eyes, both eyes. Yeah. And then like blood runs from his eyes.
Surely that if you're shot in the eyes, you'd be dead. It's on your brain, right?
Yeah.
It's not just your eyes. It's like if you got stabbed in the eyes, fine. But if you're shot through the eyes, that's through your head, through your brain. You're fucking dead.
Yeah, exactly. You'd be dead, man. Yeah. But then he's he's swiping blindly, isn't he? He's trying to kill her.
He's
blindly.
like holding his eyes with one hand, swiping. Has he got a scalpel at this point?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's got that tiny scalpel.
He appears very weak.
Yes.
I mean, as I'm saying, there's meant to be this evil thing, but surely if he was evil, and if he can survive a bullet through the fucking head
twice,
then surely he can probably see.
I think this was actually meant to be the last one, wasn't it?
Yes. Yeah.
That's why they did the ending that day. So he's swiping. I think they turn on like a gas or something.
Yeah, Laurie gets out and then Loomis lights up. I can't remember what he says. I can't remember what he says to him. He's like,
"Get out of here! I'll finish this." Or
some shit like that. But blows up.
And that's his last line. It's like we're going home or something.
Something like I can't remember what he says to him. It's going to bug the shit out of me now. I'm sure it'll come back. But yeah, they both blow up. Laurie sees like the result of the explosion, turns around and sees Michael walking out, all in flames. And then finally Michael falls down to the ground and burns to death. I mean, that is the deadest that Michael has ever been.
Blasted in the eyes.
Halloween series. But no Loomis. Loomis obviously died and stayed in the room where the explosion was.
How he survived, I have no idea.
Well,
maybe
we'll come into that. We'll come into that in a minute, won't we? So
that's two, really.
So
I think overall a good sequel. I think it relied too much on blood and gore as opposed to...
Yeah.
It's a shame about, like you said, about the mask wasn't original and we saw the eyes. I didn't think that was necessary, but, you know...
It was just appeasing to all the films that were out during that time. Like I said, all the slasher stuff, but obviously the gore rating went up.
Yes, exactly.
So it was just appeasing to those fans rather than,
because you had the two Fridays out by 81 as well, so...
I think the other thing that it lacks to the first one is any, like, real... from what I remember, any great character development. There's no one in that hospital you particularly want to cheer for or anything.
No, because it's all about Laurie again, isn't it? It's just come on, get her out. But we never, like I said, one never told us why he was after her. Now we know, and they say the rest is history. Really, that's two. Yeah. That's too dumb.
Yeah.
And now...
And then 3. I mean, 3...
I have not seen.
I've not seen it. I've seen bits
I'll go into it very, very quickly. So 3 was basically, like you said, they've killed off Michael, killed off Dr. Loomis, and they were like, well, where do we go with this? We still want to continue the franchise, but we're going to try and do it differently. We're going to go to a different direction, if you will. So Halloween 3 is called Season of the Witch, which I thought there would be an actual witch in it or something. But being gumless about it, I knew nothing about this movie. I watched it as a kid. I think I rented it out from Blockbusters. And that's how I got to see the film. So I'm watching this movie waiting for Michael to like come back to life like a zombie or something or whatever. Sitting through this movie and he doesn't show up. I think he shows up in an advert on the telly. Like there's a guy in a bar and he watches the TV and is actually advertising the Halloween movie. That's how Michael gets into. So technically he is in 3, but he's not in 3. If that makes any sense.
I do seem to remember seeing the either DVD or VHS artwork in a local store where I lived, and always looking at it thinking, it says Halloween 3, but I can't see Michael Myers on it.
Yeah.
Or anything like, is it a sequel or is it a totally different series?
It's like a red cover with a witch's face at the bottom of it. And I was like, oh, I'm intrigued. Maybe this is going to have an actual witch in. Anyway, So the movie basically is about an old man who's a millionaire, whatnot, but he's a heavy fan of Halloween. He wants to get Halloween back to its old days, like when Halloween used to be called Samayan or something.
I don't know.
Yeah, it used to be called years and years ago. It used to be called that. And so what he does is he creates a series of Halloween masks for kids to wear, and these are like the hottest toys out at the time. So all the kids of Haddonfield buy it. I can't remember if it's Haddonfield or whatnot, but you know, and there's 3 different types. There's one with like a skeleton, a pumpkin, and a witch. And at a certain time of the night, on Halloween night, if kids wear these, they will all die. They'll have like insects and skeletons and snakes and all that pop through their head. Every child will die basically. And it turns out at the very end of the movie that he found a meteorite or something at the end and puts this little meteorite chip into these masks. So when these masks see a strobe effect on the telly, it would kill
isn't there some like random song playing with like the...
3 more days to Halloween.
Yeah, the Clover or
that's
something.
That's right, yeah. That's what it is, yeah. And that's pretty much the premise of 3. So, but what happens is like a woman, I think it's a news reporter or something, she finds one of these masks and it implodes on her face and she gets deformed and her face looks like a witch. And I think, oh shit, she's going to be the witch. She's going to be the one that's going to go around killing people and stuff. Not the case at all. She's just pretty much dead. Yeah. And then obviously we go into this and find out about this guy, and he actually wins at the end of the day.
Oh,
yeah,
bad
guy wins at the end of the day.
Who's the bad guy?
The rich guy that likes Halloween so much.
Oh, okay. So it's like a corporate group.
Do you remember RoboCop?
Yeah.
Not Dick Jones, but the guy who Dick Jones works for. Dick, I'm very disappointed.
Oh, you call this a glitch?
Yeah, it's him.
Yeah. Oh, right.
It's him who plays the character, basically.
Okay.
And that's pretty much the premise of 3.
Nothing to do with Michael Myers.
No, there's nothing to do with Michael Myers. There's a guy who comes into it, which is the guy from Lethal Weapon. Can't remember his name.
Scott Adkins.
Yes, yeah. He's the guy that tries to stop everything, and in the end, he doesn't. He does his best to like stop the broadcast from happening, to stop all these children dying. And the very end of the movie is like, turn it off, and it just cuts. So you can only assume that the show still ran, all the kids died, and the bad guy won at the end. But again, nothing to do with Michael whatsoever.
That's almost like the original Invaders of Body Snatchers ending.
Yes, yeah. When they win at the end, don't they?
Yeah. Well, it's almost Twilight. It's like a Twilight Zone.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. Oh, yeah, I think...
Anthology sort of series, they tried to change... They didn't want just to be Michael Myers because the name was Halloween. I think they were just banking on Halloween.
Absolutely.
To be... Yeah, okay.
Exactly what they did.
Okay.
And then, obviously, 4 happened. And
well, I suppose the fans were crying out, weren't they?
Like, where the fuck is Michael?
Yeah, pretty much.
You gave us this.
Yeah, there's not even a fucking witch in the third one.
Exactly. I mean, I appreciate what they tried to do. They were trying to do it differently. Like I said, it would have probably been a different Halloween story every sequel we got. But then, like you said, the fans wanted Michael, and then we got him back in the end, didn't we?
I actually really enjoyed 4. I think 4 was the second one I saw. I think I saw 1 first, then 4.
The only thing I remember about 4 is the ending and how Michael has like massive shoulder pads. He walks around like a fucking Frankenstein. His shoulders are so up high, and the mask is so cheap. It looks so bad. It's unreal. Yeah. It looks like something I would have bought off AliExpress or something.
So 4 picks up after 2, but later on. So he's been at a hospital for, I don't know, like 5 years or something. He's obviously still injured, badly burnt, what have you.
Yeah, no explanation how he's made it back either.
No,
he's literally got a burn mark on the side of his face, and that's it.
Yeah, I think they literally go along the lines of
Michael's body's in a coma.
Yeah, so there's we find out there's like a niece to Michael Myers. I think what's her name, Janie or something?
Yeah,
Janine. I think
it's played by
Daniel Harris.
Daniel Harris, that's it. I knew it was a Harris in there.
Yeah. The 2 ambulance.
Shit, you fucking good.
Eat shit, you fucking redneck.
That's it.
So he's literally out of it in a coma. But conveniently, the ambulance drivers that are transporting him to another hospital, his local one that he escaped from originally. Why you do that, I don't know. They start talking about his niece, and that literally like wakes him up, as it were.
What?
Yeah.
It like gives him
gives him power.
I don't remember that.
Yeah.
Always a real blur to me. I remember bits of it. I don't remember the whole story. So.
There was some good shots in it. Like I like the opening bit at the
as
gas
far
station.
as I'm aware, they've killed off Laurie as well. Like,
so
she
Laurie
gets mentioned, but
interesting.
Yeah, they actually
so
technically kill off Laurie Strode.
Yeah, so basically, between 2 and 4, Laurie has gotten married, had a kid, but then they both die in a car crash.
Yes.
Off-screen.
But off-screen, you never
you see like holding a photo of Jamie Lee Curtis, and she's like, "Oh, she would have been a good mother," all this sort of stuff.
Yeah,
like,
well, that's interesting because the other sequels coming.
Yeah, exactly. Well, no, I'm going to tackle this in a minute because 4, 5, and 6 are technically trying to be a trilogy of their own kind.
Yeah, it's like a totally separate.
Okay.
They're trying to follow the mythology, but then they kind of don't. If that makes sense.
Kind of like the new Planet Apes movies, like its own trilogy, and not trying to. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Gotcha. It's such a convoluted franchise.
No, absolutely, it's so fucked up. But there's a part I'll read to this in a sec that you'll make you laugh. What is it? And so she's killed off. So the niece is the protagonist now.
Yeah.
And I remember there was I had to write all these notes down. Look, I remember Michael picks up a shotgun at one point. There's a death scene.
Oh yes,
it's an awesome death scene.
And instead of shooting it, he's got his hand cocked and ready to shoot this fucking thing like a double barrel right this girl. And instead of shooting her, he stabs the fuck out of it. And he stabs the
shotgun.
Literally
straight through the door.
That's right.
Else. I can't remember loads about it. Like I say, I like the start of it. I like the gas station scene, which was actually used in the 2018 one. Weirdly, even though they don't acknowledge. We'll get to that.
We'll get to that.
So he comes back. He does the whole kind of thing from the first one where he's like stalking, breaking into places. They kind of copy a lot from the first one.
Do you remember the opening to 4? Like just the opening credits?
Oh,
it's actually shot really well.
Yeah, over the fields, isn't it?
Over the fields, very autumn, October, Halloween-esque look.
Well, I thought that's what they were trying to get, like, to come away from number 3 with the whole, like, pumpkin heads and everything, like them fields and stuff.
It's like it's quite haunting. When it sets the scene, it's really good, and then when the movie starts, you're like, "Oh, good lord, this is a piece of shit."
Yeah, it literally goes from something that's really atmospheric to your typical thing with Michael Myers is in the back of an ambulance. Great, gets woken up.
Yeah, so the rest of the movie, he finds out about his niece, and pretty much the rest of it is just trying to stalk her.
Yeah, there's some good shots where he's like in amongst the laundry, the washing out on the line and what have you. And I think at the end, it kind of goes towards the house. There's like a major house that the big battle at the end takes place in. You've got a load of cops that are trying to protect the niece. And then apparently there's a burglary in town. So they actually all go, fuck her, we'll all just go and leave just 2 cops there, conveniently. All the cops get wiped out. And then they have to hire a load of like hillbillies with shotguns to try and protect her.
All the
That's
cops,
right.
All the cops got, what was it? Dark Knight Rises?
Honestly, it's like the stupid...
buried on the ground.
Literally, the whole police force go to this house to protect her because they know Michael Myers is coming after her. And then literally they go, actually, we've had a break-in down the road. We've got to go there. Fuck the girl.
Going back to like the beginning, sort of halfway part. So you find out she's his niece, right? But then she starts having visions of Michael Myers, and she's never met Michael Myers.
Yeah.
It's like, it's very weird how... I mean, they're good scenes as to how, they bring Michael into sort of like the frame of the film, but it's just, it doesn't make any sense. She's never met him. She wouldn't know what he looked like, but yet she still keeps having these visions about him.
Telekinetic kind of...
Yeah, it was just so odd. It was, they literally
connects,
feel like they were like just writing it as they went along, It's just...
Well, it's like you were saying earlier, like she's the reason he came back to life because... She said his name or something?
Yeah, she found out that he's got a niece.
Oh, right, okay. And then that's how he came back to life.
Yeah.
So that's why they...
Yeah, it's crazy.
I don't know.
But there's a scene in the film where, Loomis is always the one that has the lines. Like, he's got those eyes.
Oh, yeah.
Of course, he's in it. Yeah, obviously, yeah.
How did he come back to life?
That's to say, he doesn't tell you. It literally doesn't tell you. He doesn't say anything. He literally, he comes back, he's got a burnt mark on the side of his face. That's it.
I remember him, just one side of his face, even though he got obliterated in the room.
Yeah, I mean, it's like he wears gloves and stuff now, so I assume half his body is burnt.
No, that's it. Right, sorry, we've got to backtrack here. So... He's been informed about that Michael Myers was being transported.
Yeah.
They find the ambulance in a ditch, don't they, or a river or something, all smashed up, blood everywhere. Everyone thinks it's just a general accident, whatever. And obviously he knows it's not. He retraces the steps that Michael has taken and goes to the gas station, and he actually sees Michael there. It's quite a good shot, actually, literally turns around, Michael's in the doorway. God damn you, Michael. And he shoots. And as the camera light switches, he's just walked off, totally disappeared, gets in a truck.
Yeah, but there's no ever explanation as to how he survived, though, is there?
No, he just comes into the shot.
He's in it.
Just, I think you just got to go along with the lines of, there was a fire, they both got really burnt, but both survived.
Okay.
Yeah.
You just got to go with it, man.
I mean, that's what I said. So 4, 5, and 6 are pretty much just like, it's there, deal with it.
Yeah,
we're not going to explain it for you. It's just there. It's happening.
Yeah.
The thing is, you got to think, if somebody like a studio said to you, right, Tim, you got to bring back Michael Myers from 2. There's nothing you can do. He's been shot in the head. He's been set on fire. You're just going to have to say he survived and he's scarred. I mean, what can you do? I mean, he should be blind, really.
How you bring it back? A dog pisses fire.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't know. But there's some good shots in it. I do like the ending of it. He literally massacres.
Yeah, so basically the ending. So going back to what you're saying about the coppers pissed off and they leave it with basically the town folks to deal with Michael. Michael gets shot the shit out of him. Basically,
he falls into a pit or something.
Yeah, and he falls into a pit, and then that's it. And we go back to his niece back at home. Dr. Loomis says it's fine, it's over, whatnot. And then all of a sudden the niece is killed, just like Michael did in the first movie. That's the cliffhanger for the end of the movie. She's there standing there with the knife and the mask, and he's like, no, please, no. And it's kind of cool because it gives you that thing that she's now inherited Michael's
Michael
evilness.
is dead. Yeah. He's now passed it on to her.
Yes, exactly.
And it works really well, actually. You think, actually, that's a good way to transfer the story or whatever,
Yeah. So it'll be interesting where the next film goes.
No, we'll scrap that.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and then obviously there was number 5. So
and this one I don't know.
So at the end of 4, like I said, he gets shot and falls down that pit. Right. That's it. We don't see anything else. We get a little recap basically, and then find out the villagers threw dynamite down there as well. Okay.
It's a bit like I watched a little bit of it before this.
Yeah.
Just to recap, it's actually very similar to when Rambo escapes in the first movie.
Yeah. So
through the little
obviously the dynamite goes off, and Michael somehow manages to
climbs out into a river.
Yeah.
Very similar to First Blood.
Gets picked up by a hobo, and then goes into a coma for a whole year.
He tries to kill the hobo.
Yeah, tries to kill the hobo, but doesn't. But then goes into a coma. Wakes up literally a year later, so next Halloween now. Okay. And then kills the hobo, right?
What wakes him up now? I can't
remember what wakes him up.
Let me guess. Is it
the niece?
Or was it his niece?
Oh, now the niece.
Oh, I was just joking. Is it really? Like she has a bad dream or something?
No, so basically she is in a mental home now or something?
She can't talk, can she, in this one? She doesn't talk.
She's a mute?
I don't think she's quite a mute. But it's like, because what happened in the end of the 4th one, so she's kind of like redoing what Michael did. She does talk later, but at the start of the movie, she's a mute like Michael was or is or whatever sort of thing. Yeah. And like you say, he gets like a telekinetic sort of connection between the two.
Oh, hold on. We've got to backtrack here. In 4, when he gets shot first time before falling into the pit, she goes up to him and holds his hand. That's where the connection is.
Oh, right, okay.
That's what starts it, sorry, So that's where she goes up to him, holds his hand. Uncle, like this.
Oh, my God.
No, that's in 5.
You sure?
Yeah,
I thought, because then they're like, get away from him, and then they blast him.
No, the part where she says uncle, that's in 5.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's in 5. Fucking spoiler.
I swear it's in 4.
No, it's not. It's this one.
Oh, now I can't watch it.
No, because we'll get to that in a sec.
So he comes back to life in the 4th one by her saying his name.
Right.
So how's he doing this 5th one? How's he come out of coma? He's alive already. So how's he come out of this coma?
Surname.
No. Again, there's no explanation. He literally just wakes up.
Okay,
he just wakes up a year because it's Halloween and he's going to wake up again. But the cliffhanger at the end of 4, she kills her stepmom. But then nothing in this film brings it up. It's like the ending to 4 never happened. Or it did happen, but we're not going to go into why it happened.
So just her being a mute and that's enough?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's like, why did you kill your stepmom? Or what was the point? Nothing. It doesn't get mentioned at all.
So like her
terrible.
stepsister that looks after her in the 4th one is killed off in the 5th one pretty quick by Michael.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they like get rid of that straight away. So they literally kill off anything to do with 4 instantly. And they just go down a totally different line.
So Jamie's her name. Janie.
Yeah.
And so she's treated in a kids' hospital, and she has a psychic connection with Michael. And I think she escapes or gets out or something. I can't remember. But anyway, the Michael Myers home. Do you remember how it used to look in number 1? So just a simple 3-bedded house, wasn't it? Something like that. Simple family home. By the time it gets to 5, it's a fucking castle. It is huge. It is really? It's like the Michael Myers home looks like it's one of those old orphanage type looking buildings.
Okay.
Had
It's
a
completely
bit of work done to it.
It's completely nothing like it used to look like at all. Please, it's so funny. So the rest of the movie is again Michael trying to catch Jamie.
Again, another actor, another mask.
Yeah. But the mask actually looks much better than 4 in all fairness.
It looks better than 4.
Yeah?
Yeah, it does look better in 5 than 4.
Okay.
So he finally gets hold of Jamie, and then he's about to stab her, kill her, end the bloodline to his family, and then she says, Uncle. And then he stops, resists.
A tear goes down the eye, doesn't it?
A tear goes down Michael's eye. He takes the mask off, and it looks like just a simple guy from the 90s with his hair tied back. It's just horrible. Anyway, Loomis kicks in, stops Michael. That's it. I think that's it.
Yeah. Yeah, the house has had some
extensions done. I think this... I'll show you the picture later. Sure. Sorry, Tim was trying to show me a picture.
I'm trying to find the picture of this castle that you mentioned.
So I'll show it to you later.
Sure, yeah.
So Loomis kicks in, he stops him, and Michael gets arrested. So he doesn't die.
What?
He gets caught, and he gets put in a jail cell.
Please say there's a court case.
Keeps his mask on as well, by the way.
Gets a lawyer.
Right?
Lives in jail with a mask on.
And then I can't remember what happens. Something happens outside that causes a distraction out the front of the police station that he's been held in, isn't he? Yeah. So I forgot to mention this. Throughout the whole film, we see a man in black, just completely dressed in black, has a briefcase.
Black hat, like a trench coat.
Yeah. And
almost like an old
he
gangster.
Pops up in the film every now and then. We don't know who he is, why he's in the movie. He's just there. And then it turns out at the end of the movie, he breaks Michael out of jail and then and actually escapes with Michael. That's it. Cut to black. Movie's over.
Yeah, you see like a load of dead cops. You see the bars and the jail.
You see a massive hole in the wall where they've blown up the thing to escape with Michael.
Second villain that no one knows anything about.
Exactly, which we'll go into 6 now, and we'll explain it. And then that's pretty much 5, really, isn't it?
Oh, what a fucked franchise.
Yes, absolutely.
It's literally like, somebody's not seen the movie before and we're literally just like, we're going to go this way with it now. Yeah. It just doesn't make any sense.
No essence.
There's no continuity
at all. No essence from like the first, even the second movie that they're going with it.
No, it's just like...
So they're abolishing... So they do 4th one, abolishing the first one, and then they do the 5th one, abolishing the 4th one.
Yeah.
Then the 6th one, I'm guessing, is going to abolish.
Well, I mean,
it gets worse.
Okay.
They keep like aspects of it, but it's as if they just say, actually, I'm not liking the way that movie went. I'm going to go somewhere else with it.
Yeah, we have an idea of a mythology, but we're going to scrap everything and then just do something fresh and different, and maybe that will get more audiences. Was that their purpose? Do you reckon?
I read that.
Possibility.
I mean, I think 5 was made in the late 80s. And then it's some years before number 6 comes along, which is called The Curse of Michael Myers. Funnily enough, the reason it was called The Curse of Michael Myers is because it was so difficult to make. They cursed the bloody film. The writer did. So they went, I'm just going to call it The Curse of Michael Myers. Not intentionally, he was just having a laugh. And the producers and that went, actually, we like that title, we'll keep it.
Some good people involved that knew exactly what they're doing with this.
Did you know that 4, 5, and 6 have the exact same titles as the Pink Panther movies?
Holy shit! Really?
Yep.
I think I heard about that.
Yeah. So 4 is the Return of Michael Myers, 5 is the Revenge of Michael Myers, and then 6 is the Curse of Michael Myers.
There you go.
Which I believe was 4, 5, and 6 of Pink Panther movies.
Oh, if they did a 7th one, then it'd be Michael Myers Strikes Back.
It would have been, yeah. So yeah, they literally copied the Pink Panther movies.
There you go.
Pink Panther, The Curse of Michael Myers.
So 6. You like 6? Go on.
I guess this one I've not seen either. So.
Oh God.
Well, that sounds great.
Right. So. Sorry,
I'm just trying to find this picture for Tim. Defending
number 6 is a bit like Alien 3, where producers producers get involved and just want the movie rushed out.
Studio interference.
So there is a producer's cut to this film, and there's obviously the theatrical cut to the film.
And which is better?
They're both not good, but at least the producer cut tries to stick to a storyline.
And he's just showed me the castle of number 5.
It's crazy how Michael's house looks completely different now all of a sudden.
It's school.
Yeah. So 6 is...
So Janie, do you say it was Janie or Jenny?
Jamie.
Jamie. Yeah, she's grown up. She's had a kid.
Oh, that's quick.
Yeah. Tommy Doyle's back.
So Tommy from the first one's back, played by Paul Rudd.
Yeah.
And he's a complete and utter douchebag in this film.
So
I remember...
they're after the baby, aren't they, or something at the start, if I remember.
So there's something to do with a baby at the beginning. No, so Jamie is grown up. She has a kid, doesn't she?
Yeah.
It turns out the father is Michael Myers.
What?
Yes.
So who really bang?
Oh, yeah, shit.
It's like he never even got caught. I think he caught her once, which was in 5, but somehow he managed to impregnate his niece.
What, Michael Myers? Whoa.
Yes, exactly. Again, number 6 makes no sense.
Well, because we're going with the whole telepathic thing, I'm going to say he did like a whole Virgin Mary thing.
Possibly.
I
think what happened is there's a cult. So there's this cult.
So this makes more sense.
Right, so the man in black is meant to be part of a cult called the Thorn.
The Thorn, yeah. Which is something to do with a
cult?
star.
Yes. So it's a cult that can control Michael Myers.
So this constellation appears every so often. And every time Michael went on his rampages in the movie was when there was this...
It was when the stars aligned to look like a thorn, apparently.
To look like a thorn. Right, so this cult, obviously at some point, we don't know when, got hold of Jamie, must have pinned her to a table, and Michael obviously did his bit with his burnt giblets.
Jesus.
Oh,
God, it's so wrong, I don't know.
Yeah, because in the producer's cut, you find out he's the father. In the original, you don't find out at all, do you, who the father is? What I remember.
I'm up for just skipping even talking about this one. It's already crap.
Yeah. This is the producer's cut we're talking about.
This is the opening of the film? Is it?
No, this is towards the end. We've jumped quite ahead. Because there's not a lot to talk about 6. 6 is just
so slow-paced, honestly.
It's like... So basically, they shot the producer's cut first, and then they were like, no, this is crap. Go back and do a theatrical one. And Michael's death scene in the original cut is being beat to death by a lead pipe.
Oh, Robin.
By Donald
by Paul Rudd.
Paul Rudd.
By Paul Rudd.
Right.
And as he gets beaten to death, there are quick shots of Michael's mask, and he is crying green blood as he's getting beaten up. Yes. Why? There is no fucking sense to this.
He had red blood number 2.
Sorry, we do find out the reason for that, don't we? The green.
Is it? I don't remember.
Right, so Paul Rudd, he tries to give the baby... It's all about the baby. So they've got this towel wrapped up to look like the baby, yeah. He goes to give the baby to Michael, but it's actually... He's got like a wedge of these... I don't know what they are, but injections of this green stuff. And then he injects it into Michael, doesn't he? And that's why when he beats him up, all this green stuff comes out. I don't know. It's honestly just a real shit show of a movie.
It really does sound like it is.
It's hard to even explain.
So in the producer's cut, they don't even kill Michael Myers. So what they do is, because he's part of a cult, Tommy cuts his hand and he makes like a little pentagram symbol on the floor, like a circle, puts some stones on there, and Michael walks into it. Michael's so evil that he can't break this blood-stained hexagon, whatever it is, sort of thing. And he literally just walks off and leaves Michael standing there, basically. That's the end of the movie.
And doesn't he pass on the guy that's in the trench coat, who you actually find out was the doctor from the first movie.
So Dr. Loomis finds out about what Tommy's done. He goes back to see Michael, kills him or stabs him or something, whatever. Turns out, takes the mask off. It's not Michael. It's the head guy of this occult, the Thorn cult, whatever. Touches his hand, and Loomis has the symbol on his hand. And the last thing, and this is literally the last movie before Donald Pleasant dies. The last thing he does, he goes, no! That is the last thing on film that Donald Pleasance ever did.
Because if you've got that mark, you've got to be the protector of Michael.
Yeah. They kind of tried to take something from the first one, because the guy in who was the leader of this Thorn cult, I don't know if you ever remember the first movie. The first time we see Loomis after that Michael breaks out, he talks to a guy as he's walking to a car. Like, I think it's another doctor.
You know, it's the one that says to him, like, he can't even drive for goodness sake.
I told him everything, you know. And apparently, it's meant to be him.
They used a different actor.
Yeah.
It's difficult to talk about because it's so.
It's a convoluted mess.
It's just all over the place. You don't even know what you're watching half the time.
I'm confused already from.
Yeah, as I say, trilogy was just they tried to do it, but their excuses was, you know, it's just there, it's happened, deal with it, and it was a shame that it just never really worked.
I just think they just overcomplicating it with starting a whole cult thing, and there's even a scene in it that makes absolutely no sense. You got this cult that look out for Michael Myers. Michael Myers is part of this cult, and then I don't know
who gets controlled by this cult as well.
He then breaks into this thing where all the cult are and just kills them all. Honestly, I don't know what is going on in the film half the time. 1 minute they're all mates, then they hate each other. It's just all over the place. It is a mess.
Well, moving on, I'd say.
So moving on, right. So we established that the Halloween series is a broken mess. One is a classic. The second one is okay. Third started something fresh with a new idea but failed miserably. The fourth was a back to Michael Myers. Started planning the season of absurdity, and the fifth escalated to new heights of ridiculousness. Sixth was just one all over mess. Shat all over the mythology. So what could they do next?
Bring Laurie back. So H2O is called that because of its 20th anniversary, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So, it's almost like let's say 4, 5, and 6 didn't happen, yeah? And 2?
It's pretty much saying,
Two. No, they got to mention 2 because...
No, they don't mention 2 because... No, it's literally they have to forget 2, 3, 4, 5 ever happened and 6 ever happened because if you remember the movie, there's a nurse that gets killed at the beginning. She was the nurse that looked after Dr. Loomis.
Yeah.
So
she was the one in the car at the bit where Michael jumped over her. And
which I never knew until later on.
No, I didn't know.
So anyway, I love H2O. H2O was the one that I loved watching as a kid because it was actually the first one I saw in the cinema when I was under 18.
Rebel.
Yeah, rebel. But the thing with this one is that it was released in the midst of the 90s revival of horror. Scream had come out 2 years prior. Then you had I still know what you did last summer. You had your urban legends.
Yeah, teen slashers were back in.
Yeah, teen slashers were back. You had Faculty and whatnot, and then H2O was thrown in the mist. And it was actually a good opportunity. Like I said, 20 years back, and they've redone her story. I mean, she's still affected by... Laurie's still alive. She's still affected by the events of 20 years ago, but she has moved on in life.
She's changed her identity.
Changed her identity. She's under like the protection program. Witness Protection Act, sorry. She has a new name. She has moved away from Haddonfield. She's now a head mistress or head teacher of a private school or something, isn't it? Private boarding school, whatever. But I just, there's so much about it I love. I mean, I love little continuities to it. Like, she still has the scar from when she got stabbed. Like, it's the first time you see Laurie, she's screaming in bed because she's had a nightmare about Michael, and you can see the scar. And it's like, oh my crap, there's where she was there. It's just nice little things in there.
I like the ice skate to the head at the start.
Yeah, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, bless him. Got a nice skate.
Shit, he's I have not seen this. I mean, I remember watching it quite a few times when it first came out, but
I think it's actually really well shot. Unfortunately, they brought back the whole thing where you can see Michael's eyes in the the mask. Though,
isn't
there
issue.
There's some digital stuff.
Digital stuff. Yeah, there's a bit where I got some like purple sort of like shadows underneath his eyes or something. Well, it's meant to be black, but it looks purple.
Yes, yeah, definitely.
I had to like digitally change the mask after filming had finished, I believe. Well, on some shots, I can't remember.
And you see his eyes a lot.
Yeah, a lot. Yeah. It's like I said, I love the opening to this. It's very well shot and was very. The opening is quite tense because the nurse he stalks at the beginning.
It's kind of got that original Halloween feel to it.
It's got the Halloween feel to it.
Close.
Yeah,
it's got that Halloween feel to it, but it still has the Tim was saying about the 90s teen revival horror thing as
well. It's very much like the Scream opening.
Yes,
Drew Barrymore.
Yes, absolutely.
I feel like if you film it with the shot very tight to the house, very tight to the rooms, bushes all around, you feel like you're in an enclosed area, don't you?
But I think he knew what it was trying to be because, like I said, the woman at the beginning he stalks she looks in and the back door is open and she hears a sound and then she's like, "Fuck that, I'm out of here." She actually goes.
And he got the wind on
goes to the neighbour's house. Is like, "Yeah, I would have done the same fucking thing." She still meets her demise, but
so he finds out through the records that are in her house, doesn't he?
Yeah, so he knows somehow that's Dr. Loomis's house where he's been looked after. So he's going through all the records trying to find Laurie. Because again, we have to try and remember that 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 never happened. So this is literally a continuation from where Michael has been shot 6 times, body's missing, and now we're trying to find where Laurie is. But again, like she's moved on with life. She's got a kid now as well. She's got Josh Hartnett, which was his first movie as well.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Was
this before Faculty?
Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah, it's 98 and then Faculty was 99.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Because it comes up saying he introduced in Josh Hartnett, so this was his actual first movie.
Oh yeah, makes sense. Hello, Cool J.
Yes.
Oh god.
I just really dug.
So they're at a school, aren't they? And when Michael finds out, he drives. Aren't they going on like a school trip or something? That's how the school's pretty empty.
So going back to like I said, Laurie's story. Her son even knows about Michael Myers. She's obviously told him, brought him up to say, look, you had an uncle that tried to kill me 20 years ago, and he knows his mother's affected by it. I think she's an alcoholic in this film as well. She's really affected by
the type of girl.
Yeah. And I think there's a point where she's like, it's Halloween. He goes, I don't care. It's been 17 years, 20 years, whatever. He's dead. Michael Myers is dead. He's never coming back right. So he knows full well what his mother's going through, which is, again, what I like about it. It's like we don't have to explain it to him. He knows it already. And then the school has a good school trip, but he wants to stay behind with his girlfriend and, they can make out do 90 things with themselves.
I just want to be a teenager.
That's it, exactly.
I love the bit how Michael gets into the school. It's so... LL Cool J is just like the shittest security guard ever. It's like a car outside the gate that's like got smoke coming out. He just walks out, takes forever looking inside it. There's clearly no one there. Michael literally just walks past him. He might as well just be sticking his finger.
Absolutely. You just walk past him easy. Job done.
And then he locks the doors, and that is it. Michael is locked in the school with the guys.
Well, Cool J is like the comic relief of the because that was the other thing with teen slashers. Because obviously teen slashers in the 70s days didn't have much comic humorous parts, but obviously in the 90s and 2000s it's all picked up. But yeah, he was good. Yeah, I liked him. Because he wants to be a writer or something, doesn't he?
He's trying to get out of insecurity, trying to be an author, an
erotic writer.
That's it, yeah.
A round melon breast.
Round melon breast?
What the hell are you talking about? That ain't writing.
We're trying to pay the bills.
Baby, it's romantic.
That's it. It sets the scene. But
fuck me shit.
We get the shit out of me. It's so badass. But
it's good. He's funny. I like him in it. Yeah.
But they were saying, I don't know if you guys agree that towards the end it got a bit comical, like how Laurie, Laurie beats up.
When he gets the low blow.
Yes,
and then you get his eyes,
and his eyes just like,
and he goes,
God.
And then, how Laurie just like she literally beats the crap out of Michael. She does all these things. I think someone said that if you put Benny Hill music in the background, it's quite funny.
I did like the scene where she first comes face to face either side of the door with the little.
That scene is awesome. Where he's trying to stab her son. And he's like, somebody open the fucking door! Somebody open the door! But then obviously the keys were there, and it's quite an intense scene. But then when she sees Michael, it's like, holy shit, that's such a good...
Doesn't he do that Jason Voorhees head like turn?
Yes.
Like, kind of like left head,
Tilts his head. Left and right, and then she goes to get the gun, and all of a sudden he's disappeared again.
Yeah, and all the fucking keys.
Typical Michael. Just disappearing again. Yeah. And then obviously... she stops Michael. I think she stabs him a few times and stops him, and then...
So there's bits of blur. I remember this death scene.
See, I don't remember much. Yeah, I remember that bit, but I don't remember the whole stuff at the school. I've not seen it that much.
I know there's a bit where he falls off a balcony, lands on a table, and then he's gone again.
Yeah, so basically before he falls off that balcony, she's practically jumped out and stabbed him in the chest a few times. Then she goes down to finish it, but then I think LL Cool J stops her actually and says... Oh, yeah. But the thing I love about this film is that... again, it makes Laurie's character so aware. It's like they've got Michael's body, they're putting into the ambulance, and she's like, fuck that. takes the gun out and she's, no, I'm driving, get the fuck away. She knows he's going to wake up. She knows he's going to come up and do something like that. So she's one step ahead of him all through this movie. Like she's prepared 20 years for this. So she gets in the ambulance. He starts to wake up. She put the brakes on. He comes, he smashes through the front windscreen there. Yeah. And then she runs over him.
Rams him into a tree.
Yeah. And then obviously there's like a point where he's stuck. He can't get out. And he's like trying to reach out to her. She goes to reach out to him.
Yeah, it feels the emotional connection.
Yes, like, tries to. But then she's like, no, I'm not having it. And just pretty much decapitates the guy. He is done.
Yeah. And he has those like cat-like eyes.
No blood.
Yeah.
No blood. Just the head comes off.
Yeah. And then...
there's blood. It squirts.
I don't know.
There's a neck. His neck goes... Yeah.
How's it go?
Yeah, you see it's... Yeah.
But I just love how Laurie's just like, nah, I'm not falling for it.
It's like the whole Sarah Connor thing, seeing that sort of evolution of the character now, real badass.
Yeah. And I just...
It's a good ending.
And then that's it. It cuts. I mean, the movie is literally 80 minutes long. It's not long at all.
It's good. That's right,
it's short, sweet, and it gets to the point. But H2O is very near and dear to me. I remember when it came out, I was so into my films at the time. I'd actually gone to university to do media studies to make movies. And I had to do a project called The Visit. I had to make a movie called The Visit, and it was something to do with you had to like come up with the idea of the title, why it was called The Visit, and you can make up anything, but as long as it's 6 minutes long, it was that. And I used some shots from H2O to make that movie. So it's like I said, it's very
personal touch.
Yeah, it's kind of like a personal thing, if you will.
Yeah,
I do remember everyone.
Not the best of. Compared to the others, it's better, but
it's a solid sequel.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So yeah, I will always love H2O.
It's better than 6.
Yeah, it's better than 6,
which I've not seen.
3.
No, it sounds better.
Yeah, definitely.
I just remember everyone talking about H2O. I would have been in my second year at senior school, maybe third year when that came out. And I don't think I saw it. I think I saw it at a friend's sleepover.
Do you remember I was saying about how I saw the first one through getting that thing from Virgin Megastore? I think I bought that video the year before the movie came out. And I was buying... do you remember Total Film magazine?
Yeah.
So I started collecting Total Film magazine in 98. And then I just flicking through that magazine one day, and there was the poster for H2O, and I was like, holy shit! There's another Halloween film? When did that... Because, again, no internet, nothing. You didn't know shit was coming out then. I was like, holy crap, fucking hell, I'm going to go see this. This is badass. So, yeah, H2O is awesome.
And now...
And then
2002 comes along?
2002, 2003, yeah. So, and then we get So, technically, Halloween H2O is 7. This will be number 8 now, which was Halloween Resurrection.
The one I saw on the big screen.
Yeah, me too.
Fucking.
This is the only movie This is the only one I've seen at least once, and that was the one. Like you said, I think I saw it at the cinema.
Is it better than 6? Because I've not seen 6. What's worse?
No, this is definitely better than 6, and that's saying something.
Cool. That is really saying something.
Have you seen Resurrection?
Yeah, I saw it at the pictures.
Yeah. So
this is doing. Was this like a Big Brother approach?
Yeah. So
as in the series.
So it's very Big Brother, but it's also cashing in on that era where found footage films were a thing.
Found footage and reality TV shows.
Yeah, so you had Last Broadcast, you had Blair Witch and whatnot sort of thing. So that's what this was kind of cashing in on at the time.
I thought it was quite clever how they did the ending from H2O to sort of how Michael switched over.
How they brought him back was interesting because ambulance driver or something.
Yeah, don't get me wrong, it's probably obviously very far-fetched, but actually... Somebody actually thought about how they're going to bring him back.
It was a good enough explanation at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So.
I reckon that's
it made sense. You could think, that would right. And then you could see why Laurie was so fucked up in the movie.
Yeah.
Because she's like back at a mental...
So basically, she's at the very beginning of the film. She's in the first 15 minutes of the movie. And even though she is... And this is what I hate about this one. It's just like, she is such a strong character in H2O. Like, she's cut her brother's head off. So she thinks, but why would she still be affected by it? Why is she in a mental home? Like she is in this movie.
Yeah, because she committed murder, technically. I can imagine her getting some jail time. Maybe after she killed her brother.
They make it out like she's gone insane, basically, in this movie, don't they?
Yeah. I think the reason, spoiler alert, obviously, she's only in it for 50 minutes, like you said, because he kills off straight away.
Yeah.
But I think that's because she didn't want to be in the film.
Yeah, I get why they've done that, but it just felt sad that it was done in a mental home. I would have liked to him have just popped up and. Did you remember the beginning to Friday the 13th too? Where the girl from the original
just dies
survived.
Right
she's done on straight away, but you wouldn't have thought that because you thought, she's going to be in the sequel, she's going to survive. No, she's done in the first 5 minutes.
They seem to do that a lot, don't they?
They could have just done. Not to make the film better because it's still shit, but with Resurrection, they could have still done the film as it was with the whole reality TV show of Busta Rhymes and shit. But then have the ending be with Jamie Lee Curtis coming back.
Yes.
Instead of having it at the beginning, because she only wants to be in the film for 15 minutes?
Yeah.
So you want it for one day. Just have it for one day, be at the end of the film where she dies with him or something.
Yes, makes sense. Then because it's in the Myers house, isn't it?
Yeah.
This is set.
No one should kill Michael Myers but her. Right? So,
absolutely.
But anyway, we'll get into the...
So we find out Laurie Strode's finally been killed off and is laid to rest. She's out of the franchise now.
And very much like most of the other sequels, I only remember scenes, but not the entire.
No, that's fine. I've got some notes down. Not a lot, but we've got some notes down. So, Busta Rhymes and Tara Banks are basically TV producers in this movie, and what they want to do is they want to film a Big Brother-esque TV show, real reality TV show in the Myers house. They're going to set up cameras. They're going to put a bunch of kids in there. And they're going to basically, I think they try and scare the crap out of them, basically. I can't remember the premise of the show.
Basically, you're going into a horror house.
Yes.
I can't. Did they set little traps up in there for them? Because they obviously don't fit.
So the producers try and made out like Michael was tortured as a child, sort of thing, and they like I said, they set up things to scare the shit out of them.
Yeah. I don't think it's like the worst concept ever, but it was.
But it never makes any sense because they're live streaming online. There's people dying, but no one calls the cops.
Yeah,
so it doesn't make any sense at all. I mean, I definitely remember the scene where Busta Rhymes is dressed up as Michael Myers, and Michael Myers is the real one's behind him, and he turns around and he starts mouthing, "Oh damn it, I'm trying to scare the shit out of him." It's so funny. It's like just seeing Busta Rhymes in a Michael Myers mask talking away is one of the funniest fucking things ever.
This is it. All I remember is him saying "trick or treat, motherfucker."
That's when he karate kicks.
That's it, and then that is
there's literally
basically what's in the trailer.
Is
what I remember from the film.
Okay,
and Laura's death scene at the beginning. That is it.
Yeah,
that's literally it.
It's literally it.
Is that all there is to be honest?
That pretty much is it.
So what's the trailer, not the film?
I mean, if you're going to bring a movie back, I mean, at least just go a little more with it. It's just so.
But they still do the Michael Myers. I can see your eyes through the mask. Palaver as well. I don't know, which is a bit of a nuisance.
To be honest, I mean,
and Michael gets beaten up by a karate kick in Busta Rhymes. Trick or treat, motherfucker.
I probably enjoyed it when I saw it at the cinema, just for the.
I think he gets electrocuted or something, or Michael, and then the Michael Myers house gets set alight on flames, whatnot, and then Busta Rhymes survives. He's like, hey, Mikey, happy fucking Halloween. Jesus Christ, is that what it's going to come to?
It's just shit. Really shit.
Yeah, it was just completely making a mockery.
I think that was...
He absolutely made a mockery of the franchise. It really did.
It was like comic value. It was just too much comedy. Just not taking the horror aspect of it seriously at all. Just forgetting that and just a dire film. Really dire.
Yeah. Not a lot to talk about in that.
It's a one and done.
And I guess that's what sort of prevented any follow-ups, because I think people had just given up with the series after that.
It should have just ended with H2O.
I mean,
at the end of the day.
Yeah.
H2O would have been a good enough ending. That's it. Heads off. Done. Just leave it at that.
I remember seeing Resurrection on the night it came out with my mate, and the cinema was empty. I think people would just get. Obviously, the reviews were bad. I just think people would give.
I don't think it was very well promoted either. No. I mean, it was.
No.
It look. If you watch the trailer, it looks like something that should have been on Netflix or.
It's a straight DVD job.
Straight to DVD, sort of thing.
Like 4, 5, and 6.
Yeah, I mean, I can't believe Miramax actually put this in theaters. It's crazy.
Yeah, not good.
Was 4 and 5 in the cinema?
I think they were straight to video, personally. Okay. They might have well been in cinema, but...
I think they all went to cinema, but...
Just America-based, internationally, not globally.
Yeah, I don't remember it being out in the UK. It could well have. I mean, I don't know. I don't care.
6 should have.
Fuck it.
Well, what came after Resurrection?
So Resurrection after that was the Rob Zombie remake.
Oh, okay.
So a very well-known horror director I quite admire, to be honest. I think he's got some good. He has a good mental vision of his style of horror. I mean, I love the one he did with House of Thousand Corpses. Everyone likes Devil's Rejects, but shot wise, I love House of Thousand Corpses. Is very on the road horror movie classic-esque, isn't it?
Like most of the horror films in the late 2000s, there's always music video directors. They always start as music video directors and then go to do horror films. Yep. And Rob Zombie is obviously he's obviously an artist first. He's a rock musician? Would you say he's a rock? Metal?
Yeah, definitely rock, heavy metal rock, isn't it?
Yeah, he's got his own unique style doing it. But he's obviously a big fan, and he obviously wanted to recapture the original whilst putting a spin of his own work into it. And I think he did an okay job.
I guess that's all they could have really have done at this point now, isn't it? It's like, well, let's just get somebody totally fresh in with a totally different spin on it. Yeah. And while keeping to the same sort of values of the first one, but really intensify it.
Well, he is Rob Zombie is very extreme and completely vulgar. Like the most vulgarest you can think of. Like he loves his like 70s trash horror, like Texas Chainsaw Massacre. You get a feel of that even in the Halloween films. It's that kind of like that gritty rawness of like grainy filters and like dark red blood, not like shiny bright sort of red blood. He just has this really, I don't know. It's just Rob Zombie.
It's I think the downside to the remake was they were trying to create a story for why Michael was the way he was.
Yeah, that's kind of what I took from it.
Yeah, it's more of an origin story.
It's like trying to justify it almost, his mindset,
Yeah, it's not so much emphasise, but understand why he is what he is.
Which... sometimes when you watch horror movies and there is the villain is lifeless, you don't know much about them. Sometimes you do think, I wish I knew a little bit. But actually, I
think Michael's one of those characters you just it's not necessary. Like John Carpenter not says, knowing.
He's just a killer. Yeah. He's flipped.
Yeah, he's the boogeyman.
Yeah, it's just clear. You don't need to explain it. You don't need to come up with like conclusions and stuff.
The zombie tried to do a humanized version of it almost.
Yeah. I remember the kid in it he had quite long hair, didn't he? And
but it was just like, it wasn't anything new on how it was like, a dysfunctional family. That's always the excuse. It's like, it's boring, man. If you're going to do it with Michael Myers, at least do something different. But again, what would you do differently?
Well, it's like I said, he wanted to do a humanized version of it, and I guess he achieved it. But,
and it overuses the theme way too much in this one.
You mean the theme tune?
The actual Halloween theme tune. It's like there's just a part where he's running down his corridor in a school and the theme comes on. It's like, why? There's no need for that. It's just...
And there's two different takes to this as well, isn't there? There's two versions.
Yes, that's right.
So there's a theatrical cut and then there's the director's cut. And the director's cut was only available in the UK on DVD and Blu-ray. And then
there was an unrated cut.
The theatrical cut, the one at cinema, is not available on the UK DVD.
Oh, is it not? Okay.
The way it escapes the mental institution is different. Because if you remember the one at cinema, he attacks the guards. And then in the director's cut, there's like the guards rape a girl.
Yes, okay, yeah, that's right. So this is when versions. Michael is in the home, isn't it?
So there's two different escapes and two different versions of the film. Which one do you prefer?
Is the ending different?
No, it's just the way he escapes. That is it.
I'd say the theatrical.
Yeah, I prefer that one.
Yeah,
the director's cut shit.
Yeah, I did
not like it.
It's like you said. Sorry, I'm missing out my lines here.
Shit again.
The director's cut makes it too Rob Zombie.
It's vulgar and just like it's shock value. That's what he does because that's what he does. That's why everyone likes his work. I'm not big on Rob Zombie's movies.
I'm not like a massive fan. I mean,
he has some interesting styles of shots. I like some of the ways he shoots stuff, and like some of his editing's pretty good. But it's the way he presents like gore and shock value. It's just so. It just feels like a appease to, those sort of like gore fest people. People who are into gore porn. That
yes,
kind of,
yeah.
That
was a thing that type of year, wasn't it? Torture porn, wasn't it?
Yeah. All the gore stuff.
Because you had all the Saw movies and stuff, didn't you?
Which I can't. Yeah.
So. Is it not? Because I can't remember the Rob Zombie versions too well. I don't even think I've seen the second one. But does it not start like the first one where he kills his sister?
Yeah, but it's like 20 minutes into it. It's like
I seem to remember like he's doing like even
but he actually
hurting animals.
He actually has the Michael Myers mask.
Yeah.
No. But I remember the documentary where they talked about how he got the clown mask in this one. Because it's quite a chilling mask considering it's just a clown. Yeah. But I think Rob Zombie said it was something I found on eBay for like 50p. You know, it's just and it's like I like that, and then bid on it and won it. So they literally had the only one. So if it broke or anything, they were pretty much fucked. But the killing of the sister is kind of recreated, but it's done differently. Like I said, he wears the Michael Myers mask now when he does it. Kills his dad, but not the mum.
Stepdad,
beg pardon, stepdad. But the mum stays alive, and then she visits him when he goes to her home, whatnot.
So they make him a mama's boy, almost like Jason Voorhees, where he loves his mum very dearly. Yes. He's the one because his sister bullies him, his stepdad bullies him. He's got no friends at school. You know, then he starts like killing animals.
I was about to say, doesn't he get pulled aside in school because he's got pictures of killing animals or something, or he's got dead animals in his bag or something?
This is before, like, you know, the whole Mindhunter series.
Yes.
Like, so this is before serial killers was a thing about, like, you know. So obviously the first sign of a serial killer is torturing animals.
That's right.
Jeffrey Dahmer or something like that. Yeah. So this is, I guess, because it's set in the 70s, it's before that. So I had no idea. It's like, he just killed an animal. That was kids.
Yeah. It's kids. Don't worry about it. He's cool.
He's going for some problems, but he'll go over it. Obviously, and then it's the first time. But yeah, as I'm saying, it's how it's like, it's a humanized version where it's like you're almost not emphasizing, but you just get to understand as to why he becomes who he is. Whereas, like,
trying to put like reasoning behind everything.
John Carpenter does this with the Boogeyman, but this is like a serial killer movie now. So it's stepping away from the boogeyman, and it's now becoming a serial killer movie.
I think the problem when you do that is, are you trying to go along the lines of, all right, well, we can justify his actions then because he was treated this way, and that just doesn't kind of work, does it?
It doesn't work, does it?
It doesn't work. It's not exactly justified. It's just having an understanding.
Yeah,
it's not sympathizing. It's not emphasizing. It's just like seeing why he becomes what he is. Much like Joker in Joaquin Phoenix and Joker.
Yeah.
You don't emphasize with him. You just know why he becomes the way he is, and that's kind of what this is. But it doesn't make it better.
No, of course not.
But I get the idea. It's a different approach, and it's going in a different direction, which is the right thing to do, I guess. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But this one's hit and miss.
Is some of the other deaths reenacted in this? I can't remember. Does he wear the sheet with the glasses in the remake?
Does he in this one?
I really can't remember. It's been a while.
There's a bit of the tombstone, I'm pretty sure, next to his body.
Yeah, because that's an iconic. So you have to kind of redo that, don't you?
Yeah. Knife pinned against the wall. I'm sure there's that.
Yeah, but I think there's blood added to this one, isn't it? Yeah.
Well, that's what this is. It's a gore festival movie.
Yeah. How did you feel about Malcolm McDowell as Loomis?
Comical.
Yeah.
I didn't find him as. I mean, you're not going to replace Donald Pleasance.
No, of course you can't.
But because is he Cockney? Isn't this?
Number two. He's Cockney outburst into
yeah. So I don't know. It's the long hair. His image doesn't. I
remember he gives off like a presentation into.
Is that the second one?
No, it's the first one still because he's talking about Michael later on, and it's like these are the eyes of a psychopath. Yeah. That was kind of a cool part of it, but. Yeah, he didn't really bring anything new to the table, really, did it? I mean, he wasn't. I know he wasn't trying to copy Donald, but
which is good. Yeah, he just didn't feel like a doctor. He felt like a celebrity. We'll get into that from the second one.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
God, the second
I've
one.
not seen it. Did I not?
We'll go into it as well.
Okay. It's kind of like Curse, I guess.
Kind of. Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, but there's a lot that can go into the second one. But anyway, Malcolm McDowell, he's. I don't know. He's all right. He's just not Donald Pleasance.
No. I
mean, that's the problem, though. That's what you're doing this comparison every time you're watching it.
This is the thing, because we now gone on to Michael. He's been in the Institute for ages. He's like a tank in this now, isn't he? Rob Zombie's built him up like to be like this big fuck off butch, like a bodybuilder, if you will, sort of thing.
Yeah, like the Undertaker out of wrestling.
Huge. We obviously get to meet Laurie now, who is so over the top. I don't know if it's her acting or if it's her character.
Oh,
it's very over the top in this film.
Yeah, I think it's because I think Rob Zombie liked the way she screamed or something, or the way she shouted. Her voice was very loud.
But she's like, she's talking about sex in every part. She's like, she gets a bagel, starts fingering it and stuff, and I'm like, what is the point of this?
This is Zombie. This is what I don't like about Zombie. He's too vulgar with his fucking films, and like his characters are just never interesting enough to like engage with or even emphasize.
Completely changed the character, haven't they?
You cannot like any of his characters. Basically, all his characters are just despicable and unlikable. You don't like any.
You want to be mates with them?
No, even the good people in the film. Even was it Brad Dourif as the dad sheriff? I mean, he's just like a fucking boring ass dad. It's like, Laurie, stay indoors. Like, are you okay?
But the girl from 4 and 5 comes in this as well.
Oh, Danielle Harris.
Danielle Harris is actually in the remakes.
Yeah. Who's the other one? Who's there's another one?
No, just her. She's back, isn't she?
The other two.
No. Sorry, she's back from the originals, isn't she?
Yeah.
From 4 and 5, and it's kind of weird how she's kind of come back to the franchise. I mean, I don't know if she was desperate for work or something, but
she was in Five Finger Death Punch music video around that time.
Oh, was she?
Yeah.
The lying. Oh, is that one? I didn't realise.
The breathing. It's disaster. It's over.
I
remember.
Was she like reprising her character or not?
No, she's Laurie's best friend in this, isn't she?
Basically, all the girls are just like dirty talking, like slutty women, and it's just like, and then the whole film is about let's talk about sex and all this. It's just
so basically, she gets attacked by Michael in this one, but she survives. She's in the sequel, but she's heavily scarred from what happened to her in the first one.
Okay.
Is that the case, or is it she get attacked in the second one?
That's number 2.
It's number 2. My bad. Sorry. Spoiler alert.
Number 1 is basically her just being Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yeah. So, like I said, they reenacted some of the scenes where
Jamie Lee Curtis is more of an innocent sort of like then she's got that one slutty friend, which is PJ Souls.
That's right. Yeah.
Whereas this one, all of them all like dirty talking. It's like, oh, let's get boys and all this. So none of them are likable. That's the only problem with the film. There's no likable characters in this Rob Zombie ones. I
do like the way he portrayed the mask in this one because it's
is great. I mean, I'm saying there's some visually good shots in the film. Like I like the way he shoots most of the stuff, but again, I do not like his characters.
One shot I really do like in the film is like it's literally the part where he's killed the daughter and the stepdad.
Yeah,
he's still a kid.
Yeah,
and he's put into the cop car.
Yeah.
But everyone's like froze frame. It's like a freeze frame sort of thing. But the camera moves. It pans over to him as a child. He's just sitting in the car, but then all of a sudden he just looks at the camera. Yeah. I love that shot. It's
even like with sound as well. He's very good with sound editing. Like there's that scene when he's the young Michael Myers in the hospital and then he's killing the nurse.
Yes,
and it's got the alarm like going. And then you've got none of the voices. You're just seeing everyone screaming, panicking in slow motion. All you hear is just the alarm.
Yeah,
going over and over again. It's just haunting and just looks great. So he's got some good way. He's got a good way of filming. But it just didn't deliver if you was a big fan of the franchise. That's the only issue.
The thing is, though, on paper it sounded really good. It's like, oh shit, Rob Zombie's doing you know a Halloween remake.
Kind of makes sense.
Yeah, and then you're like, oh, it's okay.
Yeah.
I kind of had a situation when I actually saw this in Los Angeles, to be honest. Funny enough, the same day I went on the street of Haddonfield.
Oh, really?
How weird is that? But I won't say it because it's, I won't bring it up. But Halloween 2, H2 as it was called.
Oh, yes.
The other Rob Zombie remake.
So before we go into what it's about, I have a feeling that this is a film that Rob Zombie didn't want to do, but the studios demand he did, and he has a contract, and therefore he had to do it.
And you could seriously tell with this.
You can tell he said, I cannot bother to do this movie, and he's going to make it in the worst way possible.
Oh, sorry, before we go to 2. So Laurie shoots Michael in the head at the end, doesn't she?
Yeah.
Clean as day, and she gets blood splattered and screams, and that's it cut, isn't it?
Yeah, because that's how he wants to end the film. It's like, right, he's dead, boom.
Is it similar ending to the original, like in the house? And
he kind of falls off like the edge. He's lying on the floor, though, but he appears dead. She's got a gun. He's about to get up, and then she shoots him like 4 or 5 times in the face. And then she just screams bloody murder, like, and then the film just ends.
That's the first one. That's the end of the first one,
So remember what I was saying before, that this is meant to be a humanised version. He's not meant to be the boogeyman. It's just like he's a normal guy.
So when 2 comes in, you're like, how the fuck is this going to happen?
Because he's not the boogeyman. He's not supernatural. It's just a guy. He's dead. So how the fuck did they bring him back?
Yeah, that's what I say. The first one is brought him up as he's a human. There's a reason why he done this. So shot in the head. So he's back. Apparently he's back for H2, guys.
And how does he come back, actually?
I honestly don't remember. I remember the opening. I remember the opening was very well done because it's basically it's in a hospital. Again. It's number 2 again, yeah. So it opens up in hospital and Michael Myers is going around stabbing the shit out of everyone. I think Laurie's in the hospital as well, isn't she? Yeah. So he's chasing her through there. And there's a part where there's a nurse behind a counter, like a reception counter, and he just stabs her. Like
loads,
dude. Like I'm talking like 18, 19 times. Yeah. And then when you think he stopped doing it,
he keeps going.
Does it one more time as well. But anyway, he's chasing Laurie. It's very well shot. I really do like the opening to this movie.
It's probably the best thing about the film.
It literally is the only good thing about this movie. And I remember seeing this. I was actually in New York when I saw this. Okay, me and my wife saw this, and it was so funny because it happened, and then he goes to kill Laurie, but then Laurie wakes up. It's all a dream. It's done.
That's the real shit kicker.
And then we had a group of black people at the front of us, and I remember the guy. He just went, "Damn." Like that, like he was like it's so engrossed, and then when he found out it was all a dream, he was just like, "Oh, damn."
So what? As in the start of the movie?
So the whole start of the movie,
not the end of the first.
No. This whole thrilling scene that is very well shot, very overgored, and very well, done with the sound that Tim mentioned. That was very tense scene, and then all of a sudden it's a dream.
Yeah.
We're going to start all over again now.
So she wakes up. She's got scars on her face from I think it was maybe like a year later. So she's now like this traumatized teenager. She's like now living with like foster parents. Oh, no, she's living with her mates.
So she's living with Daniel Harris's folks now.
Yeah,
right.
And so she's obviously still traumatized by the whole thing, and then she feels like she's got like mental issues.
She's a lot quieter to what she was in the first movie.
Yeah. She's not fingering bagels anymore.
No.
Well,
she's still
a nutbag later on, but yeah.
And then, so I'm pretty sure, again, there's no explanation as to why he comes back to life. There's something about his mother.
They do this whole... So basically, does she die in the first one? I can't remember.
Yeah, she shoots herself.
She did, or I cannot remember. So thanks for reminding me.
Yeah, in the first movie, she's watching an old footage of them when they were kids, and then she blows herself.
Little story about Rob Zombie. When he made the movie, his first movie, House of Thousand Corpses, he met his wife on that film. She was one of the stars of the film. And she's been in every film of his since. So she played Michael's mum in number 1. She's also in number 2. Even though she died, there's some sort of story they come up with. It's like he sees his mother with a white horse all the time.
And she's in
a white dress, isn't she? Yeah. White hair. Like it's like she's an angel, but she's a devil at the same time. It's very, very weird how they do this.
Yeah.
And it makes no fucking sense. It doesn't belong in a Halloween film.
He's in the ambulance dead, but then he's not dead. Right. So there's like 2 ambulance drivers talking about some weird.
So he's been shot in the head.
Yeah, he's been shot in the head, but he's still alive. And then Michael Myers just wakes up, grabs the guy's throat, rips his throat out. Ambulance crashes, and then he gets like a bit of broken glass. There's one other guy that's still alive. He's like going, fuck, don't kill me, fuck.
How's it go?
Fuck, okay. And then he grabs the broken glass and then doesn't just cut his throat, just keeps slicing it until it comes off. So it's like, and then comes off. And then he sees his mum and a white horse in the middle of the road, and she's like saying, "Come to me," or something like that.
Something like that. Like, white horses.
Yeah. And then he walks off into the distance, and then it's like a year later, and then he hasn't got the mask.
Yeah, so basically he looks like a hobo for this film.
He's got a beard bigger than mine. This beard goes all the way down to his stomach. He's got long hair.
He's got the hood, the grubby looking coat.
He doesn't look like Michael Myers. He looks like a homeless man, because literally that is what he is now, a homeless man.
Yeah,
well with a shotgun.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, and he's just walking around, and then he's just walking around, just bumping into people and then killing them. And then all of a sudden he gets into Haddonfield and then bumps into Laura.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
But he's being guided or something.
Like I said, it's like Rob Zombie put all his effort into the first 15 minutes, and after that, he just did not give a fuck.
Yeah, he deliberately sabotaged the movie because he said he didn't want to do it.
Yeah,
he was very adamant about it, because the studio said he had to do it. He was violating in a contract to do so, and they didn't tell him how to do it.
So he
just said, "Fuck, I'm going to do it exactly."
So back to Laurie's character, she's very like, she's like very down now. I don't want to do anything anymore. I can't be bothered. Just sort of attitude to it. So it's obviously Halloween the year after, and all her friends, because I think she works in like a coffee shop or something, don't she?
Like a coffee book comic store.
Something like that. Yeah. And they're all going to a Halloween party. Don't get me wrong, I'd like to go to the Halloween party. This is a fucking awesome party. It's very, very Halloween themed. Just fucking awesome.
Proper festival.
Yeah, and so she's like, I don't want to do it, but she goes in the end, obviously, and that's where Michael comes across her friend.
It's like face her fears or something.
Yeah,
like,
that's what it is.
I'm scared of the Halloween tradition because it reminds me of the past. And it's like, I'm going to fight. I'm a strong woman, but then I'm still like a slutty woman,
Yeah, exactly.
Like, again, none of his characters are ever
so
like
she's
if you didn't like her in Halloween 1, you're going to really fucking hate her in the second one.
Exactly.
She's so unlikable.
Yeah, she's
so unlikable.
You just want
every
her to die.
character is unlikable. Oh wait, we got to go to Michael McDowell. Brilliant. So he in the
this
first
is Dr. Loomis.
Dr. Loomis. So in the first one, he gets killed. So he thought by Michael Myers.
That's all a dream.
No, he somehow survived. Then he get choked,
stabbed or something.
He got choked or got his head crushed by, or his eye gouged, or
something like that.
Anyway, so Dr. Loomis has now survived this whole ordeal. And he's a completely different character from the first movie. He is now this celebrity junkie, where he's not a junkie, but as in he loves to be a celebrity. He wants to be a celebrity. So he releases a book based on what happened and starts exposing Laurie's life story and how he is like saying, I treated him, and he's now this #1 bestseller. And he loves being on TV now. It's just like, yes, film me. And then they're having
press hall back.
Yeah, it's just a major press hall. And then everyone's just like, he's doing interviews and they're saying there's rumors that people have seen him walking around. And then his line is like, how many times I got to fucking tell you, Michael Myers is fucking dead.
Like proper Malcolm McDowell style. So he's gone from being an American to being a London gangster.
Yeah, and he goes, Cockney.
I told you, Michael Myers is fucking dead.
Fucking dead, I tell you.
And then there's bits where he's getting pissed off. It's like, this press just called me the fucking worst thing. Something about him being like exposing people's lives, ruining people's lives because of his book.
Oh, God.
And he's obsessed. It's like, right, I need to find Laurie so we can make this book work. So he's
that's how he gets back to being in the midst of all this as well.
He's almost a second villain almost. Because again, he's very unlikable. From the first one, you're meant to like him because he's like, okay, he's a doctor, he's trying to save Laurie, save people, and then the second one, he becomes a complete dick. So I'm just like, what?
Is this the one where it's got the guy who looks like David Grohl?
Yeah.
That death scene's quite funny.
Yeah, again, there's the point when Michael Myers just roaming the earth, and then.
Just walking the earth.
Oh, no, he is. He's Kane in Kung Fu. He's doing that Pulp Fiction line.
Nice Pulp Fiction, yeah.
Yeah, he's just doing that. And then, he sees this like, I don't know, strip club. It is a strip club, isn't it? Or some sort of place where people fuck.
Isn't it like in the back of a van or something?
No, that's later. There's like this. It's a strip club / brothel bar thing. And then there's a Dave Grohl lookalike who comes out just to put the bins.
He does fucking look like him.
I thought it was him because I thought, Rob Zombie, musician.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe that was Dave Grohl, and it wasn't. But damn, he looked like him. But what was the line?
Oh man.
Yeah. So this Dave Grohl lookalike is like putting the bins out, and then Michael Myers is there with his like massive beard, just looking at him. He's like, and then Dave goes, "Oh man, you startled me," and then and then he's like trying to say like it's like I think he's blocking his path. And he's trying to get by, and then like he keeps blocking his path, and then Dave Grohl gets a little bit angsty. He goes, "Oh man," and he goes, "Oh man, you're playing dangerous." And then he gets like a knife or something.
I can't remember.
There's some way he gets a blade out. He's like threatening Michael Myers. Michael Myers then kills him. And Michael Myers goes into the strip club place, and there's like the owner like getting a lap dance for some stripper. Kills the owner. Yeah.
It's like I said, he just didn't care at all.
These are characters who just in this film for no reason.
But wasn't it referring to because his mum was a stripper?
That's it. That makes sense now.
Kind of. Something like that.
It is just a piece of shit film, but it's deliberately a piece of shit. Rob Zombie just said he wants to.
So do you see his like face throughout the whole film? Because
you don't see his mask until like towards the end. He finds the mask.
So really,
he has the mask of the dream sequence beginning bit. And then obviously through a majority of the film, he's like, Tim said he's a hobo, but they hide his face in shadow.
Yeah.
And then again, it comes back again later. I can't remember how the mask comes back again, but...
So again, is he like after Laurie for Laurie?
Yeah. So same principles.
Surely that's like the best disguise is to have no disguise because everyone would recognise him because of the mask. So if he just wanders around with a beard and a hoodie, it could be anyone.
That would have been fine, except then
that would have made more sense.
But then he wears the mask again because I think doesn't he? I can't remember now. I think he's wearing. Wait, when does
he go back to the house and pick it up? Or was that the first one?
That's the first one.
Honestly, can't remember.
The second one is just a
shit show,
convoluted mess.
Well, it's trying to be I think he was trying to say it's the art house Michael Myers version of what it was, but it was.
Should I watch it?
Just for argument's sake,
giggles.
I'd say watch it for the first 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, death scenes
because it's a damn good shame.
Yeah, there's some death. The opening's good. The death scene's good. Like, get as far to the ambulance bit and then turn off.
So we get to the ending where Loomis confronts Michael.
Again, there's two endings to this.
There's two endings. I think this is the Blu-ray version.
Yeah.
So Michael hasn't spoken for 40 years. What is it now? 25? Oh, I don't know. I can't remember. He hasn't spoken for so many years anyway.
He speaks.
So Loomis gets in front of him and says, Michael, you shouldn't be doing this. Come with me. I'll help you. And then he takes the hood off so you see all that, he sees in full glory what his face looks like.
With bullet holes in it?
No.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
all bearded up, looks like a hobo. And he says one thing to Loomis, die. So after 20 odd years or so without saying a word, that's the one thing he says. And then he stabs Loomis and kills him. Yeah. Second time.
Wow.
And then he runs out to go after Laurie and there's a whole bunch of police officers.
And then the police shoot him off and then he walks into the sunset with his mum and the white horse.
So he gets shot.
Fuck off. What the hell?
Well, it's not the sunset.
Isn't he in like a mental institution, in like a heaven version of
something like that,
institution?
yeah. So at the end of the day, he walks away with his mum and the white horse.
It's odd. It's very odd.
Very odd.
But it's Rob Zombie's just said, it's a big fuck you to the studio, which I kind of like.
What's the, you said that was the ending on the Blu-ray. Is there another ending?
There is another.
I don't know if it's on the Blu-ray, though. I can't remember the ending to the theatrical.
Laurie kills him, not the police.
Right, okay.
She stabs him loads of times, and then that's it. And then she just goes to the police and loses her mind. And then it's her that sees the horse and her mother.
That's right, yes. Yeah. Yes, well done.
That's it.
Yeah.
There you go.
Goes away to her grandmother.
Oh, wow.
So that's the remakes, and now we're on to the final one, which is the 2018 direct sequel to say, forget any of those ever happened.
This is the most convoluted, fucked up franchise. That's just
absolutely, and just
every sequel. Forget this sequel. Forget that one.
The only way we can correct this is by just forgetting everything.
Forgetting everything happened, and just basically just watch one and then watch this one. That's it. Which was, again, the 40th anniversary for this.
Yeah.
Or the 20th anniversary for H2O, however we want to put it.
And was written by Danny McBride?
Danny McBride and Seth Rogen.
And really Seth Rogen as well? I thought it was just Danny McBride, Jesus.
Oh, no, sorry, you're sorry, yeah. Danny McBride wrote it, but Seth produced it. Yes,
that's right.
Sorry, beg your pardon.
Right.
So, yeah.
And John Carpenter, didn't he help produce or something?
I think he produced it.
He
like an executive producer sort of thing.
He did the music as well, I think, didn't he?
From the director of Pineapple Express.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right, yeah. He came back for it. Yeah, he came back for this one.
I really liked it.
Yeah, I don't mind it. It's not something I would have wanted to wait 40 years for, but...
No.
But yeah, it's not too bad, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's very predictable.
Yeah.
A lot of it retreads a lot from the other ones.
But I do.
Yes,
I mean,
a lot of it. I mean, one of them is actually a kill from H2O as well.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. It's like a bit, I hate to say it, but it's nostalgia bait. It's the biggest selling market in any.
Of course,
movie.
it is.
Yeah,
so absolutely, no doubt about it.
Yeah, and
I remember us saying, and when the film had come out, and we were saying, they've obviously the first thing is we forget all the other films, yeah, but equally they include loads of scenes in the 2018 version that are all like little thumbs up to the past movies. And you think, well, hang on a minute, we're forgetting about it. Why are we rehashing?
So much of it is rehashed. Like, there's a shot in the movie where it's done in one shot where Michael goes into a garage, takes a hammer.
I did like that scene.
So that scene is a reminiscence to Halloween 2, when he goes into the woman's house and takes the kitchen knife, whatnot.
Yeah. Sorry, mister.
Yeah. And there's also a scene where kids are walking around trick-or-treating and they're wearing the 3 masks from Halloween 3.
Yeah.
So that's another nod as well. So like Tim said, it's very nostalgia-based.
The garage scene. number 4.
For number 4, yes, it is.
Yeah.
You're right.
Exactly the same.
Yeah,
But that's such a cool scene now when he picks the mask up and puts it back on for the first time. It's like, oh, welcome back, my man.
Yeah. And the mask looks great in this one.
Yes, totally.
Some of the kills were like quite brutal, weren't they? Like the head smashing and that. It felt like somebody has been incarcerated for 40 years and now they're actually like coming out to enact revenge in the most brutal way.
Yeah, I mean, it's the boogeyman trying to be the boogeyman again. But then there's that bit when he's in the prison yard and you see him as an old man. He's now an old man.
That's at the beginning, isn't it?
Yeah, at the beginning, yeah.
You feel it, don't you, mate?
Yeah. And you kind of see his face, but you don't.
Yeah, you get like a shot of his stubble on the side and what have you.
The scar from when he got stabbed as well. Kind of scene.
Yeah, so that part's fine. I like.
Obviously, they use Nick Castle again, who does play it really well. It actually looks and feels like the original Halloween movie.
I bet he felt just like at home as soon as he put that mask on, man. It was just...
The mask looks brilliant. It's kind of like weathered slightly and what have you.
Yeah, so it's more that's what's got into this film that sells it more than the actual film itself. Because obviously, like we're talking about Nick Castle playing that part. We're talking about all the scenes that happened in the original. Because those are the biggest sell points of this film. Which is like, the storyline though is a bit hit and miss.
Oh, absolutely, this is what I was saying. It was very predictable. It was like there's certain things I could tell straight away. Being a big fan of the series, I knew that was going to happen. I knew this was going to happen. There was a couple bits I was like, oh, I didn't actually see that coming, but. You're absolutely right with what you're saying. Yeah.
It did play it safe in a lot of areas.
That is the thing. Everything has been played safe. Yeah. With this movie,
but it did have style.
Yeah, which I'm not saying that the sequels were better by being ambitious enough to go a different direction, whereas this one is like wasn't as ambitious. It was just like I said, we were retreading old steps and we're saying like, I remember this, I remember that. It's like was it South Park memories. I remember. That's what it is, and that's literally what it is. Even when we went to the cinema, I just remember seeing people going, and they're just pointing, going, I remember that, and I was like, it's like, well done. But is that enough?
Well, you think if John Carpenter says, well, this is Michael Myers, this is the killer he is, there is no real motive, there is no this, then why try and do something different? That is who he is. Why have a complicated story, or why have a cult? Why have all this? If that is the focus, if we're going to forget all the past movies, we've got to go to the roots and just build it around those core values. That there is no meaning behind it. She's not a sister. He just decided to have a loony fit and stab him up. That's just what he does.
Yeah, and I hate to say it, just leave it alone. Yeah, and look what happened with Ridley Scott with the Alien franchise. He totally fucked it up because he's trying to give an explanation. He's trying to also recapture lightning in a bottle with all this. So it's like, okay, so Prometheus didn't like that. Fans didn't like that. They want more aliens. So he does Alien Covenant, and it's just like, forget Prometheus, and then we'll just do Alien again. And then we're going to have a backstory as to how the aliens became, which makes it more shit because now you watch the original Alien and you think, oh, okay, it's made by a fucking robot. It's just shit. And that's what this one, I mean, this is the problem with any franchise. Just cut it short. If you keep fucking it up, it's just going to get worse. It gets worse.
Surely all the past movies have got to tell you something, that something's not working here. I personally, I really liked the 2018 one. I felt it did the first film justice. I liked the characters. I liked Jamie Lee Curtis, Laurie Strode. Yeah, reminded me a lot of H2O in the way she was strong now, ready for Michael. She knew it was going to happen at some point. I enjoyed it. It was
there's a couple of parts I really like. There's a scene where a kid's like super drunk and he's like trespassing on someone's property. But
this bit runs to the fence.
There's a bit where Michael's just looking at him, but the lights go on and off because it's a sensor. That was kind of cool how he's just there and done it.
There's some good moments. There's some good moments.
There's one more where it's in the Laurie's house and she's obviously set the house up to capture him, hasn't she? But there's a part where he kind of escapes and she's looking for him, but every room has got something in it. I think there's a room that's got a bunch of mannequins in it, and you just know for a fact it's like something's going to happen there. It's just that's what it lost its appeal.
I didn't like Laurie's character in this though.
The thing is that 20 years, I H2O, I get it. There's 20 years, but for 40 years, and she's been like this for 40 years.
I don't like the old lady crackpot vibe.
I
just don't like that. I mean, it's like if you're meant to be a strong woman, just be how she is in H2O.
Yeah.
Right, but instead they made her into this like she's the old lady with 7 cats type person. So a whole town is a gangster, but we as viewers aren't. And I was like, oh, come on, that doesn't work for me. For me,
Laurie, that's what I say. I think they portrayed her more in H2O was better. She carried on living her life. She wasn't always just scared. And
Michael Myers in it was totally fine. Like the way they brought him back and everything, I was like, that's cool. And with the convoluted, let's ignore this and that fucking sequel. But Laurie's character, I just didn't get on board with. I didn't like the loony crackpot lady way they went with it. Just the men say she's a strong character, but I'm like, is she? If she, I mean, she has. I mean, she's old. It's like, I know Michael Myers is still alive, and I'm prepared.
Yeah, I think it's more of a case of trying to outsmart him, wasn't it? Because I think there's a part where
that doesn't make her strong, though.
No, not at all. Not at all. Because we've still got 2 more movies to go. This is a trilogy now, isn't it? So they might go into it a bit more in the next 2, maybe. Because
she becomes more sane.
Yeah, because this one
trilogy,
huh?
Be a quad trilogy, won't it?
Well, technically, if you count the first one, yes, it will be quad trilogy. But but no, they are meant to be 3 new ones. But they shot 2 and 3 back to back, haven't they?
Yeah.
And then COVID
Halloween
paused it, haven't they?
Kills Again or something it's called?
Halloween Kills is the next one. I can't remember what the other one is.
Kills Again. I back out.
Michael Kills Again or something.
The guy that's meant to be like your Dr. Loomis.
I was in this next one.
What's his name's? What's the doctor's name? The guy that's actually the bad guy.
Yeah.
I forget his name.
Oh, dude, with that scene
it's so predictable, but I love it that he died, and he died in such a good way.
It's
the head.
Yeah, that is a brilliant.
When he goes over to Michael, and then the next minute you see him rise up, and he's got the mask on. I fucking cracked up in that cinema. It was so funny.
Yeah, it was fun.
I was just like,
say something.
Why did you put that on? There was no need for that. But Tim, going back to what you were saying about it written by Danny McBride. Did you notice some of the Danny McBride-esque dialogue in it somewhere?
Yeah, the shitty, like, weed and dick fart jokes from the kid.
So there was that, and there was a kid that wanted to dance as well or something as well?
Yeah, the kid was basically Seth Rogen.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just didn't.
Yeah, you can tell it was hints of it. It's like,
I get what
he's done a good job so far, but then you knew it was going to come in here somewhere, and that's what kind of done it for me.
You've got to put your trademark in, I guess, somewhere. But a bit too much for this one, maybe.
I wonder if he's done the other 2. He's written the other 2 as well.
Because didn't he write Underworld as well?
He did. It's funny enough. It was really Danny McBride wrote Underworld. Yeah. It makes no sense.
But there's no Danny McBrideness in Underworld. But there's a Danny McBrideness in Halloween.
Exactly, yeah.
So,
but I think this was an era before we knew what Danny McBride was. I know he was around, but
yeah, it wasn't exactly top notch then.
Yeah.
Well, I'd say top notch, but Kenny Powers, pretty much. It wasn't Kenny Powers during Underworld times. Yeah.
That would have been interesting.
Yeah.
But no, I do like it. I do enjoy it.
Yeah, it's fine. It's a fine sequel.
I'd look forward to the next 2 to see where they go with it.
Do you think they're going to go down the whole thing of, like, he's the boogeyman and will survive, like, and the others getting shot in the face and what have you? Or
I reckon they're going to bring in the 6th Curse of Michael Myers thing where there's going to be a cult.
He's going to be a cult and impregnate
impregnate
Laurie's daughter.
You know why I reckon there's going to be a cult? Because Paul Rudd was in number 6, and Paul Rudd and Danny McBride and Seth Rogen all best buds.
Oh, yeah. That is true.
So you never know. Paul Rudd might replace his role as Tommy.
Yes, he might come back as Tommy.
You never know.
that is a possibility. I never thought of that. That's true. Yeah, well done.
Yeah.
I did like the house design and that, how she's got, like, the basement and...
the Home Alone.
That was one point that I was like, oh, crap. Like, when he fell in the basement, and it turns out it's not... It's basement, it's a cage. It's a trap. I was like, oh, that's actually quite clever. And then we all knew he was going to get out or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, that's a given, I think, on these. I thought Laurie's daughter was quite strong towards the end. I didn't expect that, where she's like crying for her mum. I'm too weak.
Like, gotcha.
Yeah,
she's a strong, confident woman.
Out of all the things that were predictable, that one I didn't see coming, actually.
But because she mentions in the film that, she trained her for this situation, so very Sarah Connor-esque.
It felt forcefully tough. Like when she was in H2O, she felt naturally tough. When she tells of her son, it's like, what the fuck were you thinking?
Yeah, exactly,
I was like, damn, so she's good in that. I mean, I felt she gave him more, but again, this whole, like, he's alive, crackpotting there.
Yeah.
And she's all like, loony, and then, like, she goes in a restaurant, it's like, he's alive, I'm telling you. It's just like, see, that's not Laura, that's not her.
No,
that's not her character. I just didn't believe it. She just felt like someone else.
And
it's
again, true, very true.
Again, like, the whole toughness, it just felt forced toughness. It shouldn't be natural. Like I said, H2O, I think she was more better in that. Not as anything that was a better movie.
Do you think it's going to be a pass the torch thing?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, the daughter will take over. She'll die in this next one.
I was going to say, do you reckon she's going to go in the next one, or she'll go in one of these two, won't she?
Yeah, definitely.
Called it.
Yeah, and then Paul Rudd will come in and be a cult leader or something.
Yeah, exactly. Paul Rudd will be the Tommy cult leader. And final thing for it, the direct sequel, shall we say? The score was John Carpenter again.
Yeah, that was good.
And it was kind of good for him to actually come back and do that.
Wait, wasn't
upbeat it a little bit, wasn't it?
No, was it? Was it John Carpenter? I think
it was. Him and his son, I believe, done it. Yeah.
What am I thinking of then? There
Is
was,
it his son? Or, I know John Carpenter definitely did come back for the...
Didn't Trent Reznor originally do that? I swear it was Trent Reznor.
Unless John Carpenter only redid the theme.
I just think he gave it... I swear it was Trent Reznor.
No, he definitely did come back for the...
Really?
The soundtrack. Because I had it on vinyl, so...
Oh, okay. Because I thought he came back to produce it. What did Trent Reznor do? I swear there was another horror film that came out and he did a score for it.
Can't think of it.
I swear it was Halloween for some reason. Okay.
But no, Carpenter definitely... It might have just been just for the main theme and then Trent Reznor did the rest. I don't know, but maybe he definitely was involved because I've got the vinyl for it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought he did...
yeah, it just says John Carpenter on there. I can see anyone else.
For the...
what was I thinking? Oh, wait. I remember now. Yeah, John Carpenter did it, but Trent Reznor wanted to do it, and then he put up a sample, which was on YouTube.
Ah, okay.
So Trent Reznor did a version of Halloween, but then John Carpenter was like, no, I'm going to do it.
Okay.
But Trent Reznor wanted to do it, and then there's a sample you can hear.
He might do the other two, who knows?
Possibly.
Yeah, the music was really... It was the music in the trailer.
Yeah,
the trailer was really good, and that music, which obviously... in the film, it was obviously had the original piano in it, but just mixed up, and I think it worked well. I think he did a really good job of the score. I really liked it. I'm happy to say that. Forget the rest. Let's just go with this now. I think that's what you got to ask yourself. Would you prefer to just
a lot of franchises are going to do that now. I think when Alien 5 was going to become the Neil Blomkamp one, they were going to say forget 3 and 4 ever happened, and it was going to go straight from 2, wasn't it?
Ridley Scott now is now thinking of redoing the Alien franchise again and saying forgetting Covenant and Prometheus.
Well, if he's going to do it, he's got to fucking do it soon. The Gears is 85.
No, he needs to. He needs to leave it alone. Let someone else take. Just basically leave the Alien franchise.
It's such a shame because I love Prometheus. Absolutely love Prometheus. Prometheus. Covenant. That's another story.
Yeah.
But I love Prometheus, and it's such a shame they just never carried on with it.
Yeah. Oh, back onto John Carpenter. I think everyone's heard that he's remaking his own film of the Thing.
Is it actually him doing it? Because I know Blumhouse got under it, hasn't it?
So he's going to help fund or produce. He's producing. He's part of it. He's not directing it.
As long as they use practical effects.
That's the only reason
won't happen.
But that's the only reason I can think of. Why would John Carpenter allow?
He won't do it if they say CGI.
Yeah, I can't imagine John Carpenter. If he does that, then that's bad on his part. That is really bad on his part. If he wants to remake it.
Yeah, but then we can go to like James Cameron's approval on the Terminator movies.
True.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Where's the paycheck? I'll sign whatever you want.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Genesis
I would love the remake to be the remake of the remake, be practical, but I don't see it happening. I really don't.
It's the only way it'll work if they do it.
I mean,
to be honest, there's no point remaking it. Leave it. It's already
it's already absolutely.
It's already a remake, and it's a better remake than it's because the original was like the 50s one.
Yeah, of course.
And this was a new that was more based on the book, more true to the book, as I'd say. But yeah, it's a fucking good movie.
Going back to obviously Halloween, what this is about. What do you think? It's strange for a movie series to have 3 or 4 different ways of going with it, like as in they've said.
But this goes back to what you were saying about interference. It's like clearly, especially with 4, 5, and 6, clearly there are a bunch of producers like, I want to do this, I want to do that. Yeah. We're going to spoon feed them Michael. Yeah. We're not going to give them backstories to what the mythology is, whatever, because 3 happened. Yeah. It's just give them what they want. It's like Tim was saying about Alien Covenant. We all wanted Prometheus 2, and we got Alien. Because even fandoms, I say fans can kill fucking movies sometimes. Yeah.
Look at the DC universe. Yeah. Alien, like I said, like I thought Prometheus was great, and then people were pissed off they didn't see enough aliens, and then he caved into the fans. It's like terrorism. It's like appealing to terrorist demands. It's like
fucking social media.
Yeah, they're destroying movies. It's weird. They're destroying the thing they love the most. It's odd. But there you go.
So no, yeah,
it's just a strange series that you can go. Actually, I'm going to watch obviously the original. You have to start with that, but I'm going to go to the 2018 one. Actually, no, I'm going to go with the timeline of the one that follows it.
It's very interesting how you say, because it's a series where you can pick and choose what you like. I mean, there are fans that love 4, 5, and 6. Obviously, we don't, but we like 1 and
I like 4.
H2O, for example, whatnot. So it is very. Obviously 1 is the be all end all. There's no joke about it, but it's interesting how this is a series. Like you said, it's a broken mess, but it can be divided up into what the fans like.
Yeah,
it's like a massive puzzle that you could complete in different ways. Which you shouldn't be able to do really, but
out of all the franchises, is this the most messiest? Because we've had Friday the Frames and all that lot, and is the most.
Well, I suppose if you said continuity wise, because you've got.
No, I'd say it's tied with Friday. When we talk about Friday next episode, we'll go into it. Obviously,
I would challenge that. Actually, I would say this is the most messed up one and convoluted.
I mean, Friday has a couple of them, but this has a few. I would so I would say yes, this one.
Yeah, we're all forgetting that. Number 3 is part of the series, yet nothing to do with Michael Myers. So when you throw that into the equation, you're like, hang on a minute, there's a series here.
No, you're right. I had to think for a sec because I've been studying Friday for the next episode. So
well, Friday doesn't do the whole rewriting sequels. I mean, at least it is continuous. This one's backtracking too much.
And it's a series that's asking you to forget about itself.
I mean, that's stupid. I mean, it's like it exists. It's there.
Yeah.
So the most convoluted franchise. Oddly enough, it's called Halloween. It shouldn't be. It should be the top one by namesake.
Especially, like you said, 1 was the start of it. But 1
is because like I said, 1's more of the stepping stone from independent careers, and you can make a small budget film successful. It was the first one to do that, and it's the way it set that fucking path to do it, and it did a good job, and it's a good movie. Mm-hmm. It's a solid film. It's scripted well, and the sequels are just cash grabbings.
Absolutely,
with a few. Good moments,
with
a few exceptions of good sceneries, good good moments, but the convolution of all the fucking sequels, backtracking, really does kill it a bit. But it's interesting that at least that we got more than one film, I guess.
Yeah, it's just a shame what they did with it. It was just like I said, it's giving the fans what they wanted, and And that's what we got. We got those crappy movies. So, but some of them are still good, like we said.
Yeah.
So, I think we've come to an end, guys. I just want to say thank you again for coming down for episode 2.
You're welcome.
Obviously, next week's one will be on the Friday the 13th movies. Look forward to that. So, yes, guys, if you enjoyed what you listened to, join us on Facebook at the M.T.V.B podcast, or on Instagram at M.T.V.B podcast. Subscribe to be notified when future episodes are available. This is the Atman, this is Steve, and this is Tim signing off.
Oh,
good night. God bless.